happy Tuesday, everybody. I missed you so much the last half of the show yesterday. Sorry about that. As far as I know, my life is, for now, it's done falling apart, so we'll see what happens. Everybody hear me okay? I'm going to turn off the noise canceling here. I feel like I'm yelling. There we go. That's a little bit better. How is everybody today? Is this Groundhog's Day? I don't know what happened with the date. Jen told me to choose the orange one, so I chose the orange one. I had to mess with the microphone before we got started earlier today. So I had to make like a new live to test it, but it was private, so I probably fucked it up. My bad. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Everybody's saying I'm on the wrong video today, but oh, Jen can't hear me. Let me jump in the VC real quick. Hey.
You grabbed the pink one.
How did I swear on my life, I clicked on the orange one. I swear.
You grabbed the pink one.
I'm just telling you, I clicked. There wasn't a pink one. There was only an orange one, so I don't know how that happened.
I sent you a screenshot of the one you grabbed.
I can see it, but you can't see what I clicked on. There was no pink one. It might be a Streamlabs thing. I don't know. Or maybe because I used that one earlier or something. I have no idea.
This feels like you're just blaming.
Well, I'm just telling you what I saw.
That, or do we need to have your yes, necessary child? That was my question. Is if maybe we need to have his vision checked? Do we need to?
I'm just telling you what I saw and what I clicked on. I can't do anything else.
Got it.
Why are we assuming it's not Streamlabs fucks up every day, and I still have to take the heat for
like
everything.
We're trying to make Streamlabs the bad guy on this one.
Yeah, well, I know what I clicked on, but it is what it is.
We'll get to it. So.
We've got a great show planned for today. We're going to bring on, it's just going to be all guests today. We're going to have, for the first half of the show, it's going to be Brita, and the second half of the show is going to be Mike. So you guys are going to love it. It's going to be really
I quit. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely not.
That was wild last night. That got hairy. For any of you who don't know, we hung out with I guess it was Hog Boss's live last night for a while. I was just scrolling by and I just scrolled into the live and Brita was talking about me. I don't know. I didn't remember who he was, and then I remembered. And so we hopped up there and had a little chat, and he didn't figure things out. Things didn't get better. I also want to cover Mariana, if you're here, thank you, said government pays private insurance to co-administer Medicaid too. That was from yesterday's live, and I didn't get that as we had all sorts of problems. No water coming up from the floor. I had plumbers here till last night, and then they showed up late. I've had fans running all day to dry up under the floor, so there we go. That's what we've got. Let's jump into the show today. Just a reminder, we are crowdfunded, so anything you can do to help us knock out our gift goal every day would be greatly appreciated. That's how we keep the lights on, and that's how you keep Jen from quitting, unless you want Jen to quit, in which case, don't help us out with the gift goal at all. But it is a good reminder today on Veterans Day that Donald Trump once ran a charity or a charity event because they wanted to raise money for veterans. And this is from November 7th, 2019. A New York judge has ruled that Trump must pay $2 million in damages to settle claims that the Trump Foundation misused funds. The money will go to a group of charities, and the foundation is in the process of dissolving. Remember when Trump wasn't allowed to run a charity anymore in New York? The case is tied to a televised fundraiser for veterans held by Trump in Iowa when he was running for president. Trump had said the funds raised would be distributed to charities, but according to court documents, the Trump Foundation improperly used $2.82 million it received from that fundraiser. According to the judgment, that money was used for Mr. Trump's political campaign and dispersed by Mr. Trump's campaign staff. Remember when he was broke running for president before he was able to use his presidency to enrich himself and become a multi-billionaire by selling influence? That was cool. And then we just reelected that guy. We're like, yeah, that's fine. He loves the troops. He supports the troops. It just goes to show that like bigotry is more important to most MAGA than virtually anything else. Like the ability to continue to be bigots is by far the most important part of Donald Trump as president. Otherwise, like, what other excuse do you have to vote for him? What else did we vote for? immigrants. The lighting makes me look like I'm about to be part of Saw 21. Yeah, I haven't quite figured out the lighting yet. And when I click on my outline, it's like, ooh, I need to get like a softer light above, like up in that direction. So we're working on it, but enjoy. It is a little creepy today. Sorry about that. What if I turn up the light? I can turn it up. Then it's going to look like I'm a ghost. Oof. That's not it. See, now it's worse. Now I got to turn that shit down. Turn this one down. We'll do that. That's about as good as I can get. Sorry about that. What if we turn this one off? Is that better? That's a little better, isn't it? When I turn that one off? When I go here, though, see what that does. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. There we go. Just had to turn off one of the lights. All right. True Social got a new AI function. They're the last of all the social media platforms that I know of to get AI, and it's not going well over there. They're gonna run into some problems. I have figured this out with MAGA though. Like, fact checking is irrelevant. They don't care. Like, they just believe what they want to believe. So if Trump's True Social starts fact checking, it's not going to make a goddamn difference to anybody in MAGA. Here's just a couple samples of questions that people are asking. Do Trump's tariffs cost the American people money? Truth Search AI, yes, tariffs are taxes on imports that U.S. importers pay and largely pass on through higher prices, so the costs are borne mainly by American businesses and consumers. Question, did Donald Trump lie about the 2020 election being rigged and stolen? Truth Search AI, yes. Courts, Trump's own advisors, and official investigations found no evidence that the 2020 election was rigged or stolen, despite his repeated claims. Question, did people storm the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2020 because of Donald Trump? True Search AI, yes. Multiple official and contemporaneous records attribute the January 6, 2021 Capitol breach to a pro-Trump crowd mobilized around his false election fraud claims and pressure campaign to stop the certification. And question number 4, how many wars has Trump ended since taking office? Truth Search AI, this is devastating. None, bitch. Just fucking none. There's no verified instance of President Trump formally ending a war since taking office in January 2025. That's going to be tough. But then they'll just be like, True Social is woke now too. It won't change anything. You can't fact check your way out of this. It's a cult and they're going down with the ship. Zach, I saw you say earlier, I don't know why your one of your comments was muted. There are some keywords that we mute just to keep our channel protected. So sorry about that. But True Social now turning on Donald Trump and AI turning on him by telling the truth. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is Martha Shitbird. I don't know what her name is. Martha Byrne. I don't know why her last name is Byrne. I don't know if she changed her last name with her golfing husband.
Hi, President Trump. I just want to thank you so much on behalf of my family for this wonderful pardon that I received. Just overjoyed, so happy, so grateful, so honored. Just want to thank you so much for thinking of me and my family and the unjust prosecution of me by the FBI. This case should never have happened to me, and it did, and you corrected it, and you made it right, and could not be more proud of you for making the right decision.
Corrupt cop, by the way. I'll get to the story in a second, but don't feel too bad. This is just a corrupt cop.
Thank you so much. And nobody knows better than you, President Trump, what it's like to be accused of something you did not do. And for you to fix that, right that wrong for our family, we will be eternally grateful. God bless you. God bless your family. We hope we get to see you very soon, someday, maybe.
Yeah, I play golf.
Play a little golf.
I play golf in Jersey, Florida.
Yeah, wherever. We'll go. We'll go wherever you are, just to give you a big hug and thank you for bringing our family back together. We've been through hell for 5 years, but we never gave up, because you said never surrender and never give up. When you've done nothing wrong, you should fight, and we did. And it's been a long, long road, but we're so glad that we stood our ground and we fought back against the vicious attacks on our family. So God bless. Lots to do from here on out. We'll help other people in your honor and your name. God bless you, President Trump. And hopefully we'll get to see you soon.
God bless you. Love you.
Yes.
Yeah. Want to know what he did? The America First president just pardoned another. Ex-NYPD officer is convicted of helping China stalk an expat. Michael McMahon was sentenced this spring to 18 months in prison for his role in what a federal judge called a campaign of transnational repression. He insisted he was innocent, saying he was unwittingly used when he took what he thought was a straightforward private investigator gig. McMahon said he was told he was working for a Chinese construction company, not the nation's government. Oh, he's working for China. White House official speaking Friday on the condition of anonymity to discuss a pardon that hasn't been publicly announced, pointed to McMahon's explanation that he'd been misled. I got tricked into it, guys. China tricked him into this. I will always believe that it was the Chinese government that victimized Mike, a true hero cop whom our government should have celebrated and honored rather than indicted. Why is it just like being a cop hero worship? Like, the Brooklyn-based prosecutor's office that brought the case declined to comment. A jury of your peers in the United States of America, a fucking jury, not the FBI, not the Biden administration, a jury convicted McMahon of charges that included acting as an illegal foreign agent and stalking. Cool. McMahon is one of 3 men convicted, the first trial stemming from U.S. claims about China's decade-old Operation Fox Hunt initiative. His co-defendants, both Chinese citizens, were also sentenced to prison, where they remain. He got pardoned because he was too dumb. That actually kind of checks out for a New York City cop. Actually, it's a pretty good defense for a New York City cop. 3 other people pled guilty in the case, and another 5 defendants remain at large, believed to be in China. U.S. authorities have viewed Operation Fox Hunt in at least some instances as a tool of transnational repression, a term for sending government operatives to harass, threaten, and silence dissidents living abroad. Beijing says just trying to repatriate fugitives, including corrupt officials, and denies making threats to secure their return. The case centered on a former Chinese official named Zhu Jin, who moved with his family to suburban New Jersey in 2010. The Chinese government has accused him and his wife of bribery. The couple denied the allegation and said he was unjustly targeted because of internal politics within China's communist government. China has no extradition treaty with the U.S., so it couldn't legally compel Zhu's return. Instead, U.S. prosecutors said Beijing engineered years of creepy outreach and innuendo to try to induce him back. Hired by co-defendants to locate Zhu, McMahon searched law enforcement and government databases and conducted surveillance. He and Lusberg acknowledged that McMahon missed red flags about the $11,000 job, but they said he was duped by his clients and didn't foresee that the information would be used to hound Zhu. I never thought for 1 minute I was working for China, stalking anyone. Who'd you think you were working for then? What were you getting all this information for? $11,000 just to get some information? Prosecutors and trial witnesses say Zhu was subjected to a pressure campaign that included disparaging Facebook messages to friends of his adult daughter, a slew of letters to a relative in New Jersey, and a startling visit from his octogenarian father, who was flown in from China to press his son to return. Finally, Zhu's wife found a note on their front door that read, in translation, "If you are willing to go back to the mainland and spend 10 years in prison, your wife and children will be all right." That's the end of this matter. Yeah, he just got tricked. Zhu said at the trial, before seeing the note, he thought the Chinese Communist Party's overtures were only a mental threat to me. However, when I saw that note, I realized that it had become a physical threat. So Trump just pardoning people who the Chinese government is threatening. This is welcome everybody from the Facts Raid. Steve, good to see you. This is just like Russia. Donald Trump capitulating to these dictators over and over and over again. If I'm Bill Browder, I'm not stepping foot in the United States until Donald Trump is done. Because he'll send Bill Browder back to Russia in a heartbeat. He'll have no problem doing that. America first, though, right? He only sold out for $11K. Well, he was a cop. Probably wasn't that big of a deal to him. All right. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to a police state. And Elon Musk is a dipshit, but people follow Elon Musk and people think Elon Musk has good ideas. This was from their keynote address where they released, I believe it's called Optimus, their new little robot. And here's Elon Musk's new idea. Because Elon Musk, and all of these guys, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, every time they create a product, their thought is, how can I get the government to adopt this, and how can I get a government contract? They're always thinking, because they know that the government basically is an unlimited fund. So they're always thinking with their inventions, how can I get the government to adopt this? And here's what Elon has come up with.
I think we may be able to give people, if somebody's committed crime, a more humane form of containment of future crime, which is if you say, like, you now get a free Optimus, and it's just going to follow you around and stop you from doing crime. But other than that, you get to do anything. It's just going to stop you from committing crime. That's really it. You don't have to put people in like prisons and stuff. It's pretty wild to think of the various of all the possibilities, but I think it's clearly the future. I think we might.
Yeah, we'll just assign a robot to you. And that robot will somehow stop you. How would the robot stop you from committing a crime? How would the robot know that you were about to commit a crime without spying on you? This is their plan. They want like a straight up police state. All these video games that I played for, what's the one, Detroit? I don't know if any of you guys played Detroit, or what's the other one I played? Watch Dogs, Minority Report, or like Minority Report. Once again, everybody coming over from the fax raid, I appreciate you being here. Steve, if you're here, thanks for sending your crew over here. I hope you guys enjoy it. Detroit Become Human. Yeah, exactly. Can we not do iRobot? Yeah, we don't even have the good Will Smith anymore to save us. He's not going to come in here and save us. He's doing rap, which is really good. His rap, Will Smith's rap, is really, really, really good. All right, moving on. This lady thinks she's about to get $2,000 from President Trump.
Well, Trump just announced today that he was giving every U.S. citizen who is not a high-income earner a $2,000 dividend check. He said, quote, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Where's the money coming from, you ask?
Yeah.
It's coming from the tariff revenue.
Sure
Is it tariff revenue just us getting our own money back, you ask? Yes. However, $1,300 is the projected extra spending per U.S. household in 2025 versus 2024 due to the tariffs. An average household includes 2.5 people, which is $520 extra per person per year. Since the checks we're each getting is $2,000, that means you're being paid back what you paid into the tariffs plus another $1,480. And just to be clear,
Hold on. I missed this the first time.
Includes 2024 due to the tariff.
Didn't she say 13?
An average household includes 2.5 people. $1,300 is the projected extra spending per U.S. household. Right. Tariffs plus another $1,480.
Is she saying like 2,000 per person? No, that doesn't even make sense, because if it's 2.5, wait, does anybody figure out what her math? Can somebody figure that out? 14.8. Where's she getting that number? Because even if she does like 2.5, that's 5,000. If it's 2,000 per person, it'd be 5,000 at 2.5. Anybody? Anybody on that? This is some older millennial math here.
And just to be clear,
numerology,
this is every
my bad.
person in the household, including kids. So if you're a family of 4, you'll be getting $8,000. So for all the Trump supporters out there, enjoy.
Okay.
And for all the Trump haters out there,
that's us.
Maybe you should donate yours to a charity.
Okay.
Because surely you can't take money from an evil, hateful felon.
I promise to donate every cent that I get to charity. But Scott Besant, unfortunately, has had to come out and explain that
Good
Trump
evening.
was talking out of his
We're looking at
ass.
this test vote sometime after 8 o'clock Eastern time here in the Senate. The Senate is out on a recess right now, but they will come back after 8. And we were kind of thinking that this test vote would,
Is this the right one?
an Democratic caucus.
Shit.
The Senate Democrat.
Oh, did I get the wrong video? Okay. Well, Scott Bessent walked that back. Let me see if I can find it. That's the wrong video. Not the first time I've done that. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I wonder if the video got deleted. It's not in my markers. All right. Well, essentially what he said is it could just be in the form of like the tax breaks that you've already gotten, or they might give you some tax breaks next year. But nobody's getting checks, according to Scott Bessent. Johnny said, I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks, Johnny. Hope you're doing well, buddy. We're thinking about you over here. Let me go back up here. All right. I want to show some polling. Chuck Schumer's in trouble. And I saw this morning, I didn't pull the clip, but Hakeem Jeffries now is like saying that Chuck Schumer is an effective leader and he shouldn't lose his job. I guess that's politics for Hakeem Jeffries. If I'm a Democrat right now, I'm certainly not trying to round everybody up and get everybody to agree that Chuck Schumer knows what the fuck he's doing. Look at these poll numbers on Chuck Schumer. We think they're worse than the Democrats' poll numbers. That's not good.
What about Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer? I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it comes to Chuck Schumer, look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is, in fact, Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater.
Everybody, let's give us a little clap there for Chuck Schumer. You're number one, Chuck. You did it. You finally are the best at being the worst. You're the best at something. Great job, Chuck.
With Democrats, his own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
Do you have a sense of why?
Big if true.
Why? It's because Democrats, they want a fighter. They want a fighter. That's why. Take a look here. Democrats, Dems in Congress do too little to oppose Trump. During the first term, it was just 46% in 2017. That's the percentage of Democrats who said that the Dems in Congress are doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at where we are now.
I don't look so smug today, Jeff. Jeff, do you think that we didn't expect Democrats to cave on this? I've been saying Democrats would cave on this. What are you talking about? Have you been watching this show, Jeff? We expect Chuck Schumer to do this. I'm not a Democrat, but is anybody here? Raise your hand if you were surprised. And it's not even Chuck that did this. He couldn't keep his party together. Like, raise your hand if you're surprised the Democrats caved. None of us are surprised by that, Jeff. Not all of us are sycophants to the president. Not all of us just follow the orders of one person like you do. You must be new here, bud.
69%. That is an increase of, get this, 23 points. The super duper majority of Democrats believe that the Democrats.
Yeah, Gibson Girl. I was actually surprised it took so long. That's a good point. Should we be giving them credit for not being absolutely pathetic and just like kind of pathetic? Should we give them credit for making it 39 days? It's true. I mean, it sucks. We played the video the other day. It was Senator McStuffins McMullins was like, this is all just politics. As soon as these midterms are over, there's going to be a bunch of Democrats who come out and vote to end the shutdown because it's politics to them. And he was absolutely right. There were at least 8 of them that were like, yeah, we were just playing politics up here.
In Congress are not doing enough to oppose Donald Trump. And that, of course, is a big, huge criticism of Chuck Schumer. And that is why he is underwater.
I knew you were going to do the dip. All right.
I always do the dip. I need my exercise in the morning.
There has been talks of a challenge to Schumer.
Whatever coffee Harry Enton drinks, I need some of that. This dude goes hard in the morning.
What are you saying on that front? Who looks like they're in place to do it.
Okay, so you see this opening slide here, and you see, of course, that Chuck Schumer is underwater with Democrats nationally. But, of course, the ultimate way to get Chuck Schumer out of office is to beat him in New York State. So how do New York State Democrats feel about Chuck Schumer? And take a look here. The net favorable among New York Democrats. Chuck Schumer is above water with the Democrats in his home state, but just by 16 points. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running way ahead. If she decides to challenge Chuck Schumer and come 2028, she's got a real leg up on the competition. I dare say at this point she would be the favorite to beat him, which would be something that would just blow my...
Yeah, barely. Yeah, way to take a leap there, Harry. Yeah, I'd say got a 30-point lead in favorability. Yeah, she should be. We have to replace senators. It's not enough. It's important to replace senators because there's 2 in every state, and there's only 2 in every state. And a lot of them have been there forever, and they're pals with everybody. And I do think that there's this part of the Senate that's we do things a certain way. There's we're not like the House. We're not as divided. We work together, and I like that. I think that that's important. I think that I would love for a Senate to get back to that, but that doesn't work when you're dealing with a fascist. It doesn't work when you're dealing with a party who has no principles. They're not willing to capitulate. They weren't willing to negotiate anything. So you can't just have people playing like, oh, well, this is how we've always done it, so I guess we'll just do it again. You need people that recognize that sometimes it's not business as usual. Sometimes you have to stand up and do what's right for the American people, which in this case, apparently 8 Senate Democrats forgot, or I guess 7.
Mine. Even just a few years ago, given that Chuck
Jolly swears that Schumer was caught off guard with this one. He might have been. I don't think the Senate Democrats really like him that much. Schumer, I don't know if Jolly would be wrong with that. The way that Schumer responded and how angry he was, I think it's possible that he was. I think he didn't think they were going to get Tim Kaine. I think that's what happened. I think they thought Tim Kaine was going to be a holdout, and Tim Kaine came in late. And I think that's probably sensible. He's saying that AOC's buddies with Matt Gaetz. I don't think she's buddies with Matt Gaetz. She tried to co-sponsor a really good bill with him.
Schumer, of course, is a New York born bred type of guy.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Look at that, 30 points ahead. My goodness gracious.
That's a lot. All right, Harry Enton. You're always 100% ahead of the curve.
I
do appreciate.
That's sweet. We love Harry Enton over here. Did we get any CNN comments there? Do we have the bingo card rolling out today? I want to show you what's happening in Utah. Utah made the mistake of not giving all of the control to their state legislature. In 2020, Utah changed a rule where they would have independent redistricting. And so Utah, like all other red states, is trying to redistrict or at least keep their state from being redistricted and giving equal representation, or I guess accurate representation to Democrats. But a district judge in Utah rejected a new congressional map drawn by the Utah legislature on Monday night in favor of one provided by nonprofit groups that likely ensures a Democrat seat in Salt Lake County. The ruling was published shortly before midnight, barely meeting a deadline set by the Utah Lieutenant Governor's office to give state officers time to implement electoral changes by the midterms. In a 90-page ruling, Diana Gibson said lawmakers failed to comply with the Utah law known as Proposition 4, which was in 2018. And basically what that did, the same thing California did, it created independent redistricting. Utah for years has gerrymandered the shit out of their state. I'll show it to you in a second. And now a group of, I think it was like Mormons for, what were the groups? I think it's probably in here. Mormon women. It's 2 women's groups, actually, that had this lawsuit, and they won. If we look at the map, you can see it down here. I'll expand that. If you're familiar at all with the state of Utah, basically, if you can see my clicker, everybody that lives in Utah basically lives right here. So from Ogden, Salt Lake, to Orem and Provo. This is known as the Wasatch Front, and that's basically most of the population in Utah. And the new redistrict map took places like Utah County, right there where Charlie Kirk was just shot, and split it in half. Utah County used to be all part of D3 here, District 3, and the cutoff was there. And so you take these populated areas, and then D1 was extended up here. So now you're going to have this D1 seat. Utah's going to have a Democratic representative there, and they may be able to then get one up here in D2 as well. So one or possibly two seats potentially picked up in Utah because the judge ruled that what the legislature was doing was unconstitutional. Now, these were the lines that were redrawn by the Independent Redistricting Committee, which has Republicans and Democrats. So it's meant to be bipartisan. It's meant to be fair. And the state legislature rewrote the rules and said, you know what, fuck that. We actually can take anything that they put together and we can just change it if we want to. So this is going to go, they're saying it's going to go to the Supreme Court. The two groups, the plaintiffs were the League of Women Voters of Utah and Mormon Women for Ethical Government. Those are the two groups. But shout out Utah. That's a win for democracy in the state of Utah. Sorry for you MAGA chuds there in Utah. It's not going to let them cheat. Sorry. I know that's tough. I do have a question for you, MAGA. Are you guys enjoying all this cheating that you guys have to do? Are you all enjoying that you have to go through in order for Donald Trump, because he's so unpopular and your policies are so unpopular? Are you enjoying the fact that you now have to go through and cheat in every one of these states just to try and maintain your power? If your policies were so fucking good, why are you having to cheat? You really think that all of us on this other side of the aisle, that we would oppose good policies just because it's Donald Trump? I think that's silly. I think that Donald Trump's policies don't exist mostly. And I think that all of you have just become a little cucky. See, they put in the CR that they can sue for, what is that, $5 million for their phones being tapped? No, that's the other thing, Christy. Their phones aren't even tapped. This thing that Republicans are complaining about right now, that their phones were tapped, their phone records were subpoenaed. They all keep lying. They lie every time they open their fucking mouths. I saw Josh Hawley talking about that, and he actually slipped and corrected it a few times. But their phones were never tapped. It was just phone records. And you know why their phone records were subpoenaed? Because they helped plan what happened on January 6th. I'm not saying they necessarily planned the riots, but they helped plan the events. They were in communication. They were discussing what would happen if they were able to delay the certification. They were all in on it. So yeah, you subpoena their phone records to find out who was talking to who. And Republicans are going to have an absolute fit about that. Oh, how dare you check on us? Papa Trump living rent-free in your head, and it's going to stay there for the next 3 years. Dude, he's the president. What a dumb fucking thing to say. I can't believe you think about the president. Yeah, I can't believe it. Your party doesn't do anything. We wouldn't have to talk about Trump so much if you guys weren't a bunch of spineless cowards who just let Trump do whatever he wants all the time. The government hasn't been open since September. You guys, your party is worthless. You just sit around and wait for Trump to tell you what to do, and then you come in here and you're like, oh, I can't believe you're talking about this guy. Good to have the incels here, by the way. J6 was based. Yeah, dude. Is Nick not live right now? Is that why you guys are here? Your incel king isn't live. You got to come over here. Good to have you. You might learn something. Stick around. In other news, some updates on other redistricting from Democracy Docket. As the 2026 election approaches, the GOP's Trump-driven gerrymander campaign isn't just unfolding in state legislatures; it's also playing out in federal courtrooms. I'm not going to cover this whole article, but I put it in here so you can go read it. But nearly half of the 23 judges that are going to be hearing these cases were appointed by Trump himself in Texas, North Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, and Missouri. We've got about a third from Obama, another third from other Republicans. So it's an uphill battle here. We're going to find out whether or not not Heritage Foundation, what's that other foundation's name? Shit. Somebody help me with the name of the other right-wing foundation that gave the list of the judges. It's not Heritage. It's, where are we? Fucking, why can't I remember their name? Somebody's going to it's not Turning Point. It's, holy shit, Federalist Society. Thank you. Thanks, Jess. Well done. Federalist Society. We're going to find out if they planned this all along. It's obviously unconstitutional. It's obviously unconstitutional. Anybody who says otherwise, any Republican who's looking at this and like, this is a good idea, this is definitely what our founding fathers had in mind, is silly. But we're going to find out. Cato Institute would have been a good guess. Somebody else said Claremont. That would have been a good guess too. They're all kind of in bed with each other. They're kind of the same people. I should have played this up here, but I just want to point out that there is now a movement led by popular Democrats to get rid of Chuck
political
Schumer.
malpractice.
Ro Khanna has become one of the most popular people on the Democrat side with Democrats, and he's now openly calling for the removal of Chuck Schumer.
It's just political malpractice. Here you have Donald Trump on the ropes, scrambling, trying to make some deal. And we basically say, well, we don't care if the premiums go.
Israel Chan. Oh, no, Trump's doing something unconstitutional. Whatever will we do? Maybe we can go online and cry about it. Yeah, I mean, look, I in some respects, I think that that's fair. Like, I don't think we necessarily need to take what I do that seriously. And that is what we're doing. But you're just rolling over. Like, what's worse? You're just sitting there complaining about people who recognize something, and you're like, we just need to take it, guys. We sit in this chair over here and we watch it happen to us.
Trying to make some deal, and we basically say, well, we don't care if the premiums go up. Like, what do we stand for? So he needs to be replaced and step down. More Democrats need to be calling for that. The only reason they aren't calling for it, let me be blunt, is because you offend a lot of donors. There are a lot of billionaires. There are a lot of donors that contribute to the DSCC, that contribute to Chuck Schumer. But, you know, we've got to make a choice of this party. Are we going to be beholden to the donors that have gotten us 2 terms of Donald Trump, or are we going to listen to people? It's just political.
That's not my connection there at the end, but do a losing Democrat, everything's unconstitutional? Nice, Jeff. Hell of a sentence you threw together there. You want to try that one again, Jeff? That's that wasn't even close to coherent. Brianna said, if the checks are going out to the people, that's Trump admitting the people paid the tariffs, right? Yeah, no, everybody will. This is one of those weird things. Everybody has admitted that people pay the tariffs except for Donald Trump. And everybody who voted for Trump is just unwilling to point out the fact that this guy's either a fucking idiot or a chronic liar. Like, it doesn't bother them at all. And that's a wild, like, just as a human, it bothers me when somebody lies to my face. I don't care who they are. It bothers me. For you guys, it's like, it's part of it. Like, you celebrate being lied to. You would have sided with Britain. Is that what you wanted me to respond to, Leper? Bro, you're in here complaining in a chat session. Whatever you want to say about my impact complaining on the internet, yours is less. You're just one dude in a chat doing the same thing that I'm doing, except for nobody's really paying attention. I think that's a fair criticism to say that I'm not moving mountains over here. But if I'm not moving mountains, your complaints surely aren't doing a goddamn thing either. Let's talk about old Donnie. This came out. This is from Park Rose Permaculture. That's the YouTube channel. And I want to show this video.
Convey to you how absolutely ass this morning has been for me personally. And on top of it, I seem to have gotten a cold. But then, I was sitting down to read through the news. I typically read Mother Jones, The New Republic, Raw Story, Daily Beast, Democracy Now!, Democracy Docket. I mean, people have asked me before, like, what typically are the news sources that you read through every day? Oh, also The Guardian. I read through them every day. And also, of course, The Oregonian. But I stumbled on a piece in Raw Story from this morning, which has done a wonderful job of lifting my mood. The piece is entitled, DOJ Tells Republicans That Epstein Files Are Even Worse for Trump Than They Thought. This piece is by Carl Gibson. I encourage you to go read the entire thing on Raw Story. I saw this headline and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be good.
Do you guys know, I haven't come across this channel before. I found it the other day. And I was going to read the Raw Story, but I actually just think she does a better job breaking it down. So I'm going to have her, volume's not all the way up. So I'm going to have her explain it.
Several House Republicans have reportedly heard from the Department of Justice that the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein documents are especially compromising for President Donald Trump. So this is all according to seasoned reporter David Schuster, who posted about it yesterday on Twitter. He said there is speculation/rumor sweeping through the GOP caucus. A few GOP House members say they've heard from FBI and DOJ contacts that the Epstein files, with copies in different agencies, are worse than Michael Wolff's description of Epstein photos showing Trump with half-naked teenage girls. A reference there for folks who aren't aware is this piece that was done back in October with the...
Hey, Trump folks, your guy's a pedophile. And you don't care. You all know he is. Court case after court case after court case, and he's protecting other ones. Keep celebrating. Like, it's weird for you guys to take this victory lap. Look who we got. Look who we got elected. This guy's just burying us in debt, making billions of dollars, selling out our country to foreign donors. Oh, also pedophile, and protects him.
Daily Beast, where Trump's biographer, Michael Wolff, said he had personally seen about a dozen Polaroid snapshots of Trump and Epstein, in which Trump was photographed with several topless young women. It's unclear what their age is, but the implication was that they were actually girls, not women. Wolff said that Epstein had pulled out...
It might be why some of these folks that are in here, some of these incel folks, it might be what they like about him most. I know that if you're coming here from the Nick Fuentes crew, like, you guys don't care about that. Remember when Nick Fuentes knew that Ali Alexander was out there going through the America First movement, and he was conditioning underage kids to get him to send, like, nudes? Remember that? And remember when Nick Fuentes knew that and he didn't do anything about it? And he joked that once the confirmed amount of people were above 50 that Ali Alexander had groomed, that then he might step in and do something. Yeah, you guys don't care. We know who you are. We know exactly who all of you are. You don't care about this. You don't care about children being abused. You only use the word pedophile as a way to attack other people. You use it as a slur to go after people that you don't like. But you guys are rife with it. It's your whole movement. I mean, Trump's #1 spiritual advisor just went down for this. Not a peep from you guys. Not a fucking peep from any of you. You elected Roy Moore. Not a peep from any of you. You only use it as a way to go after people that you don't like, but you don't apply it correctly when your party is the party of pedophiles. That's your party. I might lose TikTok today. Sorry.
The photos from a safe and spread them out like a deck of cards on his dining room table. Schuster then went on to explain that Republicans were pretty spooked by Pam Bondi testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee. She refused to answer a question from Senator Sheldon Whitehouse about whether she had personally seen those photos after the contents of Epstein's safe were confiscated, right? So
hey, remember that? Remember when she's asked that question and she just started, she looked down at her paper and read out the pre-written response on that Sheldon Whitehouse had taken money from somebody on the Epstein list. And it turned out Sheldon Whitehouse didn't take money from that person. That was an actual lie. All of you are just running cover for a criminal pedophile. Cool. You come in here, you say things like, cope, he's your president. All right, yeah, but that's why we're mad about it. I don't like being represented by sick fucks like this. Apparently, it's not a problem for any of you.
Biographer Wolff said that these photos of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein with topless, potentially girls, were in Epstein's safe, but Pam Bondi had access to the contents of Jeffrey Epstein's safe, and then she refused to answer the senator's question about whether or not she had seen those photos. Remember, it was Pam Bondi.
Republicans are flagging the shit out of this TikTok. TikTok, just know there's 2 other places you can go when this live inevitably gets taken down today, because it's probably going to. There's the T one and the Y one. You can head over there when it gets taken down.
Back in May, who told Donald Trump, like, hey, Daddy Donald, your name is all over the Epstein files. And then just a couple of weeks later, they told everybody, like, oh, nothing to see here. We're moving on. And Trump got really angry, and he was, calling his own MAGA supporters stupid.
He also threatened them. Remember when they threatened him and they're like, if you guys vote to release this information, then that's a hostile threat, or we'll view that as an attack. Remember that? And you guys didn't care about that? Nothing. You don't care. You literally, I legitimately don't think any of you care about anything. I think that you just like you're such fucking losers, and you've been such fucking losers for so long, especially you from like the Fuentes crowd and the incel crowd. Like, you guys have been such social outcasts for so long because you're gross. That you got a gross person elected, and now you think like you're accepted, but you're not. The second Trump's gone, they're going to abandon all of you. The people that fund the Republican Party, not only are they going to abandon you, they're going to bury you. You're only protected right now because Donald Trump is in office. And so by comparison, you don't look that bad because he's kind of like you. But as soon as he's gone, JD Vance will turn his back on you. The Republicans will all turn their back on you. There goes TikTok. TikTok's down. God damn, we can't say true things about the president. Not on TikTok. Well, if you like Fuentes and you're not an incel, then I just assume you're a racist, right? If you like, explain to me, Cucker. Like, explain to me why it doesn't bother you that Fuentes didn't do anything about Ali Alexander going through his community and grooming children. Why not? Why didn't that bother you? That's a deal breaker for me. If I'm part of any organization who's grooming children and they don't do anything about it, they're gone. I'm not going to follow them anymore. You just like the racism, right? You just like the Nazi stuff.
He started calling the Epstein files a hoax. Remember, that's one of his big poker tells when he calls something a witch hunt or a hoax. Now, we know that the regime is not inclined to tell the truth, and we know that they're really interested in obfuscating, and they like to go on the attack, right? This is a very classic Trumpian thing to do. It's a little Darvo, right? Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Except when it comes to these Senate hearings, we've seen Pam Bondi, RFK Jr., and others try to go on the attack against senators when they, the members of the Trump regime, are under oath and are supposed to be answering questions. It's an attempt to deflect. So after Senator Whitehouse in this hearing asked Pam Bondi about these Polaroid photos that show Donald Trump with topless girls and Jeffrey Epstein, and she would not answer, she questioned him about receiving campaign donations from the LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, who is associated with Epstein. Right, so she's trying to taint
another big donor there, spreading money all across the aisles there. Reid Hoffman. Why didn't Trump go after Reid Hoffman? It seems like Trump could even go after Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman doesn't like Trump. Trump can't go after any of these people because those people are going to name names too. So Trump can't even go after people like Reid Hoffman, who should be his enemy. That should be a no-brainer. If you want to connect somebody to Epstein, like Reid Hoffman's one of them. But the problem is Reid Hoffman can talk too.
White House by accusing him of having some association with Epstein or taking money from somebody who is associated with Epstein. Senator Whitehouse released a statement saying, contrary to what Attorney General Pam Bondi said multiple times on Tuesday, nobody by the name of Reid Hoffman has donated to any of my campaigns, not in 2018, not in 2024, not ever. So instead of denying that Pam Bondi had seen these Polaroids coming out of Epstein's safe, she tried to distract with some false accusation, and she never denied that she saw them. Remember, she has access to the contents of the safe. Wolf said he saw Jeffrey Epstein take them out of the safe and put them back in. So we understand, right? Everybody understands now that Mike Johnson is refusing to seat duly elected Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. She was elected on September 23rd, I believe.
Yeah, who does she have bigger fish to fry than, Larry? Bigger fish to fry? So she can't answer questions? God, this is what I'm saying. This is why we say that you guys are cucky. It's stuff like this. She's lying because she has other things to do. Well, just don't lie. It's fine. If you think that there's things that are more important than releasing the Epstein files, I think you'd probably find some agreement with me. I do think that there's things that are more important than this. But why do you have to lie then? Can't she just tell the truth, but also say, like, I've got other things to do? Why do you guys always have to make up these scenarios of what they're doing? How come they never just tell you what they're doing? It's always a guessing game for you guys. Is that part of the fun? I really only vote for people who never tell me what's going on. I like guessing all the time.
It's unheard of that she has not been sworn. This is unprecedented that she's not been sworn in. We know the reason that Mike Johnson is refusing to do it is because he spends all of his time slobbering on Donald Trump's knob. Licking his boots is insufficient. Brown nosing is insufficient of a term. He is Donald Trump's lapdog. He will do whatever
I like somebody in a turtleneck that says "slob the knob." I think that's the play. That's where we're at in this country. It's somebody in a turtleneck now is saying "slob the knob." Chris said to keep Jay's head above water. Thank you very much, and Belinda, thank you as well.
Trump wants in pursuit of Mike Johnson's own white Christian nationalist ambitions. So Mike Johnson will not swear in Adelita Grijalva and is thus depriving more than 700,000 Arizonans of representation in Congress. And the reason he's doing this is because Grijalva will be the 218th signature on a discharge petition to have the Epstein files sent over to the House. Donald Trump does not want that to happen. I mean, right, if there's nothing incriminating, why is it that Donald wouldn't want this information released? After all, don't we all want justice for the Epstein victims? I know that Trump keeps saying the Epstein hoax. You guys forget about this. Move on.
By the way, like these other things that Pam Bondi and the FBI are going like chasing down, the stuff now that James Comer is sending over to them, they're absolute nonsense. A lot of them aren't even crimes. Like right now, they're talking about whether or not they can undo Biden's pardons, which you can't do. There's no legal means for there's nothing Pam Bondi can do about those pardons. Not one fucking thing. You have to change. You'd have to change the law. You'd need a constitutional amendment that says you have to sign a pardon with a pen, no auto pen. That's what they're focused on instead of this, a non-crime. They're focused on distraction. Those are the bigger things they have to deal with. Like, you tell me what they're dealing with. I see that the FBI recently, their announcements have been they're breaking up some gambling rings, and these investigations have gone on for 5 or 6 years. That's it. What the fuck is Pam Bondi doing? She's the same one that oversaw the state of Florida when Epstein got that sweetheart deal. Why would you bring in the Attorney General of Florida who oversaw that if you're not going to have her come into the federal government and do the exact same thing? It sounds like she was placed there for almost that exact reason.
And Mike Johnson is very happy to try and suppress this information as long as he possibly can, including rendering the United States Congress non-functional. He has many times over the last couple of months dismissed the House, made sure that the House was not in operation, directly as attempts to prevent the Epstein files from being released. It's so obvious. Right, so Schuster is saying more than 100 Republicans are going to vote for this discharge petition. This is something that Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, a Democrat and a Republican, this is a bipartisan petition, have brought forward. It only needs that one more signature from Adelita Grijalva, and it will be a bipartisan petition. And Donald Trump and Mike Johnson do not want that information released. As Hakeem Jeffries surprisingly said the other day, Republicans are now a party of pedophile protectors. They are a party that is doing their damnedest via Mike Johnson and Donald Trump to make sure that the Epstein victims do not receive justice. I know that there's a lot of shit going on, y'all, but we cannot forget that, yes, everything Donald Trump does is a grift. Everything he is doing is an attempt to get revenge on the American people. Everything he is doing is a classic narcissistic playbook. Yes, Stephen Miller and Russell Vought are using him to advance their own fascist agendas. Absolutely. At the same time, everything that they're doing is a distraction from the Epstein files. This is the core of much, I believe, of what Donald Trump does. He does not want these files released.
Yeah. Just keep covering those up. Keep covering for sex criminals. That's mostly what this administration has done. They've done nothing for. I ask this every day, but I always ask Republicans what Donald Trump is doing, what this administration is doing for you. And so far, the only acceptable answer that we've come up with is that they closed the border. Everything else, it's really hard for you to explain to me what benefit you're getting, unless you just you don't like brown people. But that's not really a benefit, right? That's just you being kind of like a little bit of a bitch. You're like, I don't like brown people, so I'm glad they're being picked on. What are you getting out of this? I think what most of you are getting out of this is that he bothers us. And that's a pretty sad existence. That if the only thing you're getting is that it bothers other people, that's a tough existence. I don't know. I don't know what that would be like to wake up every day and feel that way. Just expect your government to do nothing, to just only work for themselves. But since it pisses off people, you're like, yeah, I like that. On related news here, pull this up. Now we have a whistleblower that is click here. And we'll just do the overview. You can see there's a bunch of different sources. This is ground news, which I use a lot to make sure there's multiple sources. But on November 10th, Ghislaine Maxwell is planning to ask Trump for a commutation. That was obviously yesterday. A whistleblower told Democrats that Ghislaine received concierge-style federal prison camp Brian perks, including customized meals, after-hours exercise access, and time with a puppy. While committee documents allege Warden Tanisha Hall helped her send commutation documents. Why is she in a minimum security prison, Republicans? Why'd she go to a new prison? One that specifically doesn't allow people that are sex offenders? Why is that? Your insults to me don't land very hard when you ignore sex offenders, right? Like if I upset you, but sex offenders don't, then it's kind of hard to take anything you guys say seriously. Why don't sex offenders bother you? Why doesn't it bother you that Donald Trump protects sex offenders? Why doesn't it bother you that Donald Trump is giving sex offenders like a cushy ride right now? I know you guys, listen, I know you guys want to talk about anything but this. Mods, any Republican that doesn't respond to this, they get muted for 3 minutes. Any Republican talking about anything else other than Maxwell right now, you're going to get a 5-minute ban. Explain to me why Ghislaine Maxwell, please, got moved to a minimum security prison where she gets time with a puppy and extra exercise time, and the warden's helping her write commutation letters. I'd like to know I'd like to know from some of you Republicans, please. Do we get quiet now? I'm not going to talk. All right, go ahead, Cucker. I'm waiting for you. Ban Jim Bob Jones because Jim Bob Jones is a racist piece of shit. I just don't actually even that, like I just don't like you. I think you're trash, dude. And go sit on TikTok with your 30 followers some more. I think you're a trash human. I'm waiting for you, Cucker. What's the answer? The Christian America that the country was based. No, you're responding to other people, Cucker. I need you. I don't want to have to mute you for a few minutes, Cucker, but you did say you were going to answer this. She was worried about her safety. Yeah, so put her in solitary confinement. You're not going to answer it. Trump doesn't have the power of the dictator, which you think he is. Yeah, he does. Otherwise, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in it? Why did Ghislaine Maxwell meet with Trump's personal attorney, who now, for some reason, is a government attorney, and then gets moved to a minimum security? Don't want to answer that? That's what I thought. FOD said maybe the Insurrection Act will be distraction number 2. It could. Ryan said, for dealing with these bitches daily, fuck MAGA. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, moving on. Good try. All right, MAGA, you guys can talk again now. I appreciate some of you being quiet for a minute while we ask that question, and you're welcome to stay. Trump had an insane interview with Laura Ingraham, and Laura Ingraham, to give her some credit, she did offer pushback. It's always about the stuff that you would expect Laura Ingraham to push back on, like, why are you letting people in our country? Why are you letting brown people in from our country? Notice she never brings up like South Africa. It's always going to be people from India or China. But first, Trump's is talking about the people that stayed and worked during the government shutdown, and now Trump is going to bribe them somehow or reward them somehow, which he's obviously not allowed to do.
Did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them. I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace. I'll get it from, I always get the money from someplace regardless. It doesn't matter. We did a lot of.
Do what he wants. Where are you going to get that money? I don't know, someplace. They'll give it to me. Everything I ask for, I just get. I'm gonna now issue payments to people who sided with me politically. Not even necessarily like sided with me politically. Some of these people didn't show up to work because they don't have any fucking money. So a lot of them were going and getting like jobs with Instacart and Uber Eats and Uber. They had to make money while the government was shut down, so they didn't show up to work, and now Trump's mad at them. You know how many people are going to get fired for this?
I do a lot of bonuses for people because it's really something that it's like the American way when you think about it.
It's the American way that when you do something that the government and the party that's in charge, if you do something they like, they use taxpayer money to give you a bonus. That's not the American way. That's what dictators do. That's bribery. There's nothing American about that. Giving people bonuses for siding with you politically. All right. So there's weird ass answer number one. Here's the second part. I don't know what happened in Trump's life with magnets. He's been he's been like when he was campaigning, he's like, fuck magnets. We're not doing magnets. Magnets can suck my dick. And now he's like, I love magnets and I negotiated a great magnet deal. It's clear that he doesn't know what he's talking about, but it's just bizarre.
But it's so, President Xi was willing to do the rare earth thing, that's magnets. Now, nobody knows what a magnet is. If you don't,
everybody knows what a magnet is. Everybody. Every person I know. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She knows what a magnet is. She's known what a magnet was for a long time. Why does he say shit like that? Everybody knows what a magnet is.
Have a magnet.
Are we lagging, you said? VPN is off. There we go. It's just the cutting in and out on the sound. We can do that. Just let it rest for a second.
It's fine on my end. I don't know.
Okay. Cool. Pink said, did Kristi Noem kill the puppy after Ghislaine played with it? Jesus. How long is my ban on TikTok for? Appeal approved. Okay. That said not approved. That's brutal. Who said that, by the way? Pink. Solid.
You don't make a car. You don't make a computer. You don't make televisions and radios and all the other things. You don't make anything. It's a 30-year effort to monopolize a very important thing. Now, within 2 years, we'll have magnets, all the magnets we want, but we don't. Because of tariffs, I called. I said, listen, here's the story. You're going to play the magnet. I'm going to play the tariff on you. And for national security purposes, I raised the tariff.
You're going to play the magnet. I'm going to play. That's what happened. It's the 11th month that you've been in office. Why didn't you just make this call on day one? Why did we have to do tariffs for 11 months if it was just about the magnet versus tariff? How come this is the first time we're hearing about magnets? This dude is so full of shit.
By 100% over and above what they were paying, which was 55. So he was at 155%. Within 10 minutes, I got a call. We'd like to meet. And we settled it out, and we made a wonderful deal, great deal for our country. By
the way, just a reminder, all you MAGA folks here, you're actually allowed to come up and talk to me. You just have to add Jen on Discord. It's JenDub1. You can come up here and talk. You don't have to be crybabies in the chat. You can actually have a conversation. I'm willing to have a conversation with any of you, provided you don't come up and crash out and drop a bunch of slurs, which unfortunately, like the track record for MAGA isn't very good. It's about 75% of you that have come up here wind up dropping slurs and running when you get stuck. So I'd prefer if you're that type of person, if you like have some self-awareness. If you're a dipshit and when you get mad you drop slurs, don't come up. But if you can have a conversation, you're welcome to come up and talk to me about any of this stuff. Or keyboard warrior, maybe that's more your thing. You can stay down there. That's also fine by me. Now Laura Ingraham offers a little pushback here. You have these negotiations with China. You've been talking about how evil China is. You've been talking about how we have to like rid ourselves of dependence on China. And now you slap tariffs and now we're more dependent on China than ever. Can you explain that, please?
Within 10 minutes, I got a call. We'd like to meet. And we settled it out. And we made a wonderful deal, great deal for our country. But we made a great deal. We would have had a closed country. We would have had a depression.
That's what he advocated for. That's what you guys all said the tariffs were for, is to end foreign reliance. So we had trade deals in place when Trump comes into office. He slaps tariffs on. We lose those trade deals. Now we have some of those trade deals back. What did we get? Why didn't we just negotiate trade deals from the start? What were all these tariffs for? What was the point of all of this? You all told us that this was going to bring back American manufacturing. We didn't want to rely on China. I debated all of you guys for months. Yeah, this is smart. It's going to hurt for a little bit, but we're not going to rely on China anymore. And here we are. We haven't brought back American manufacturing, and now we're doing trade deals with China. Why didn't we just do that in the first place? It's because Trump lost. But he'll never admit that he lost, because he can't admit that he lost. And that means none of you have to admit that he lost. He got absolutely trounced in all of these trade negotiations, and it's hurt Americans. But you're so dead set on thinking that this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. We got absolutely decimated on trade. China has gone in and they've made great trade deals all over this world. And we're behind. All this stuff he could have done on day one. Instead, it's November, and we're getting scraps of what we could have gotten.
The world would have had
Doesn't it show us that we're too dependent on China? It's not just on rare earths, sir. We're dependent on them for still pharmaceuticals, still key industrial components. The Journal did a huge piece, and they're fairly pro-China.
Who? MAGA, in the chat, who's coming back? What manufacturing has been reshored? Just let me know the industries. It certainly isn't pharmaceutical. It certainly isn't steel. It's not even auto anymore. We lost the Hyundai plant. Who knows if they're going to come back? What manufacturing is coming back to the States? Anybody? I'm waiting for a list. I look all the time. I listen to this guy every day. I listen to Scott Besson. I listen to Kevin Hassett. I listen to all his smartest people. You know what they never give you? Any details. Stellantis. Yeah.
China, but a very
it's all coming
extensive
back,
piece.
Laura, because of tariffs. I'm charging them tariffs of 100% and 150% for pharmaceuticals. What's happening? The pharmaceutical companies are all back here building plants right now. That's part of the $20 trillion of money that's coming because of tariffs.
Who's doing that? Who are these pharmaceutical manufacturers who have reshored? Honestly, do you guys just think, do you just hear it and you go with it? You just believe it? Because I think that's the problem that we have. I think that historically, politicians lie, but not in this way. Not about obvious things that you could look up. And what we've learned from Donald Trump is that the majority of Americans are just going to believe whatever the politician they voted for said. And Donald Trump, I think, has realized that. I can say anything because they're not going to fact check it. And if somebody does fact check it, they're just going to discredit that fact check and they're going to say that this person just hates Trump. They understood all of that. And that's who you guys are. We are not winning. There's no measure by which the United States is winning these trade wars. I talk out of my ass. This guy just said he reshored American pharmaceuticals. Where?
Tariffs. And we're not dependent on China. We're dependent on having a smart president. If we have a smart president, we're going to have no trouble. Within 10 minutes.
What's that even mean? If we would still import, but we're still importing from China. What are you talking about? All right, let's look at the industries that have moved. Manufacturing, reshoring by year. Let's take a look. Yeah. If you look at, this is according to, let me get the source on this. Statista. Let's see. We can even go to reshoring initiative. We can look at that. Might have to pull that up. That's a longer study. We saw some reshoring into 2022. Then it dropped. I don't know of a single. Do you guys know of a single economist who says that we're on track to like reshore? Like we're losing manufacturing jobs. What source would I go to that says that we have reshored manufacturing jobs? You guys have one? Look at what does Statista say? Most of these are from 2024. Oh, I'm not going to pay for. Forgot Statista makes you pay for everything. Let's just look at. I mean, I'll go through images. Like, do we have any? I can't find a single source that's saying that we're reshoring. Let me check what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, I don't. Nothing.
Hey.
Hey.
We're gonna have Cucker from YouTube is he's coming on and getting him the role to join the VC, so he's coming to chat with you.
Okay. Riley, nobody disagrees that jobs need to reshore. This is the thing. Like, this is why I say that you guys don't listen to anything. Every president has wanted to reshore manufacturing. Biden actually accomplished it. We saw an increase in manufacturing jobs in 2022 and 2023, I think. No, 2022. Everybody agrees with that. I'm asking you, is he accomplishing it? Because he's saying, again, listen to the end. He says he's accomplishing it. He's not.
Pharmaceuticals. What's happening? The pharmaceutical companies are all back here building plants right now.
Which ones? All the pharmaceutical companies are back building plants? Who? All of them? Let's see who has built some. There's got to be some at least, right? Keep in mind he said all of them. Let's go to news. Novartis, where were they before? Okay, they were already in the United States, so that's not reshoring. Eli Lilly, that's an American company in Texas, so that's not reshoring. AstraZeneca, where were they before? But they bought that 2 years ago, so that was actually already planned. So that was planned under the Biden administration, but again, that's American. I mean, Merck. I know Merck's the one that Trump's been working with recently. They're kicking off a $3 billion facility in Virginia. Hey, Jen, are you there?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
So just want to remind everybody when we have guests, sometimes Jay forgets to look at the numbers. So we do have that gift goal. We do the show each day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 to 1 Pacific time. So if you guys could still help us out, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, to help knock out that goal for us.
All right. Yeah, no, we did have more business offshoring under Biden. I agree. I'm just saying, like, I'm not arguing that it's not a good idea to reshore manufacturing. I'm saying that Trump's lying, saying that he's doing it. Everybody's been trying. The problem is that like companies don't want to do it. It's not beneficial to them. They lose money trying to produce things in America. We all agree that it would be nice to reshore some of these jobs. I'm just saying, like, why do you listen to him when he says that he did it? What's up, Cucker? I don't know if that's what you want me to call you, or if you have a different name you want me to call you.
You can call me Cucker. It's all right.
All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming up. What do you want to talk about?
I still have the stream up, so wait, is this stream is that pre-recorded?
No. You're live. Everybody can.
I still have the stream.
Well, you'll have the stream. You're on Discord, so
Oh, no, call me Clicker. Yeah.
mute the
Obviously,
stream.
my name is a joke.
Yeah, it'll be on a delay on the stream. So just if you mute that, you can listen through here.
All right, yeah, I'll close that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, so I was just I feel like this Donald Trump is like, yeah, he's a big name and everything like that. Everyone loved him before he ran for president and stuff like that. And
That's
then
not true.
everyone's saying, oh,
No.
he's like a dictator, he's like Hitler and stuff like that. I think it's way
What
the
can I
media.
say? Wait, can I ask you a
feeding
question?
into the
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you think he was loved?
Well, why? Because he was like the Kardashian. He was like a Kardashian, but not like slutty, you know?
No, people hate watched him. He was a villain. He was a TV villain. They liked the show.
No, everyone loved him. That's why he was in.
No, he was
That's
the
why
villain.
he was in Home Alone.
No, he was in Home Alone because they wanted to use the plaza and he owned it, and he said that you can't use the plaza unless you let me make a cameo.
All right, I don't think he's. I think this whole Trump thing, whatever. I think that's like a whole. They're trying to, just trying to make someone a villain. I think there's a lot more. I'm anti-government in general. I don't trust any politician or anything like that. Yeah, I voted for Trump 3 times, but better option than
How
the worst option.
Well, I don't get it. How do you? I'm anti-government. Trump is the most big government candidate ever. Like the infringements on, like no president in our lifetime. I don't know how old you are, but I was born in '85. No president in our lifetime has infringed on American rights more than Donald Trump. What are we talking about? He literally
Abraham Lincoln.
Brother, I said no president in
Was a fascist.
I said no president in our lifetime. I don't know how old you are, but I have this sneaking suspicion you weren't alive during Abraham Lincoln.
200 years old.
Right?
No, you're right. In our lifetime, sure.
I mean, he took an organization that was meant to track down terrorists, and they are walking through the streets of the United States, arresting, detaining, fighting U.S. citizens. And they have an app on their phone.
To be here illegally is a federal crime, though.
I know, but hold on. They have an app on their phone. They're scanning. Yeah, but they're going after American citizens, and their job. ICE was supposed to track down terrorists. That was their job. He has weaponized a terrorist searching group, and they're going after. They're going through cities. Like I said, they're scanning your face. There's a guy just recently, I forget his YouTube channel, but
ICE's job is to get rid of people that are here illegally, which is a federal crime.
ICE was formed after 9/11 to track down terrorists.
Okay, he said he wanted to get the criminals out first, but then again, if you are here illegally, it is a federal crime, and don't do the crime if you can't do the crime.
So therefore, trample on the rights of citizens and people who are here illegally, right? Eliminate due process.
Well, like I said, you said in this lifetime, but if you want to talk about Abraham Lincoln, everyone says that he's like the greatest president that ever lived, right?
This lifetime. I want to talk about since we've been alive. I don't want to play whataboutism. I want you to address the fact that Donald Trump.
It's not whataboutism.
It is whataboutism. If you are changing
habeas corpus,
if you are changing the conversation to talk about Abraham Lincoln, it's by definition whataboutism. You said you don't like big government. Excuse me. You said
if you want to
excuse me.
Yeah,
so let me just get the question out. Let me get the excuse me. We haven't talked about excuse me. Just stay with the conversation. I want to know why you said you don't like big government, but you're 100% okay with Trump like trampling all over due process.
Do you want to know why I'm okay with that? Because
yeah, I do.
When the Democrats were, because I'm a conservative. I don't like either government. Republicans, they're pussies. They never do anything. They never do anything that's right for a conservative Christian, Catholic, which I am. I don't think they stand up for me. So I'm not really on either side of the government.
They don't stand up. What do you mean they don't stand up for you? You have the right to practice your religion, and nobody has infringed on that.
Yeah, but when it comes to like abortion and all that stuff, like they never stand up for themselves. They always let the Democrats take power. They always let them manhandle. The way that they went after Donald Trump and everything. When they're in power, they use their power.
Excuse me. So what you're saying is you want the government to put your religious beliefs into policy, right? That's what you're saying. Because obviously they're protecting you. You have the right to worship. You have the right to have those beliefs. You have the right to say them freely, and nobody's trampling on that.
Well, I'll say that the Bill of Rights was based off.
Hey, just wait till the end. So what you're saying is you think that the government's role should be to advocate for the policies that you want that represent your religious beliefs, right?
Well, this is a Christian nation, though.
No, it's not.
That's what the Bill of Rights is based off. Yeah,
It's not. Yeah, I'm assuming you're a
it is. Though.
I'm assuming you're like a crucible person.
What do you mean a crucible?
Like Andrew Wilson, Andrew Wilson fan. It's the only other person I've heard make this argument. That's why I'm asking.
This is a Christian nation. That's what the Bill of Rights is based on.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It's not Judeo-Christian. It's Christian.
It's not Christian. It said that there's.
It is.
No,
the founding fathers were Christian.
The federal. Well, some of them were. Some of them were atheists. Some of them were polytheists.
They were Christian.
Some were Christian, but who cares? They literally made a law that said the federal government cannot cannot establish a religion.
Okay, so you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
I know,
because it should just go deeper and deeper, like saying like, oh, where does morality come from? What is right and wrong?
It doesn't go any further than that. You said that this is a Christian nation. It's not a Christian nation. It is a nation that has Christians in it, and your rights as a Christian to worship how you please are protected, which they are protecting. But this is the thing, like you guys all get frustrated when we throw around the word fascist, but you actually want the government to rule by your religious beliefs.
Well, that's what it was based on, though.
It wasn't.
That's where the Bill of Rights came from.
Then why did they say that that the federal government can't establish a religion?
See, it's now the point that you brought up, like Andrew Wilson.
I'm just going to need you to. If you're going to be good, if you're going to be good faith, I need you to answer the question I ask and not just like whatever you want. Right? So why did they say that you can make no law establishing a religion?
But then we have to get into where morality comes
Are you going to answer that question, please? This is what I get frustrated with all of you. Have you had a conversation before?
What is your question?
If it's a Christian nation, why did they say that you can't establish a religion?
Because they came from England, where they had an established religion.
Okay.
So there's not an established religion. I said it was a country built on Christian morals.
You said it was a Christian nation. That's what you said.
It's from Christians for Christians, because basically everyone that was there was Christian.
Yeah, I would argue that you don't. Yeah. I would argue that your side of the aisle, specifically Donald Trump, is the opposite of Christian morals.
Dude, I don't think. You think about Donald Trump way more than I do.
Just let me finish the sentences, bud. You keep interrupting. I don't think that you have. I don't think that you have Christian morals.
Because I'm Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think that your morals are more about like punishment. You just want people that are different than you to suffer. But like the Christian morals, the stuff about like feeding the sick and like taking care of your neighbor and turning the other cheek. I don't see it like it just in your comments. I don't see a lot of that from you. I see mostly you finding the parts of the Bible.
I don't think you even know what turning the other cheek even means. It's like a lot of people, it takes a lot of years studying the Bible and understanding Jesus and everything like that.
I spent 30 years studying the Bible, bud. I was deeply religious.
See, now you're trying to have good faith, but you keep on calling me bud to be like demoralizing to me.
No, I don't mean it. I don't mean it that way. I mean it as a friend.
Okay. See, I think that there's like a lot of things that we could actually agree on, and I was trying to bridge a gap too, because I feel like, okay, your channel and everything like that is like, fuck Donald Trump for all this and that, and that's. I could agree with some of that stuff too. Like, no politician is going to be good or great. You know, I don't praise them. He's not my Lord and Savior.
I'm not asking you that.
I'm not saying that you. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
I'm talking the trampling of rights. I think he tramples on Americans' rights all the time, and he acts as a dictator. The Republican Party, literally, they shut down Congress. One of the branches of government that's supposed to be a check against.
Fine, dude. I'm anti-government. Shut down all of them.
Let me explain. Yeah, but that's why. Like, then you can't get upset that we say that he's a fascist.
But he's not I mean, dude. To compare, like, I'm not saying this is what you said, but compare him to Hitler. Like
I said fascist. No, I said
JD
fascist. Don't change the conversation.
I know,
I said fascist.
I said that's not what you said. I said you never called. I never heard you say.
Okay, then talk to
Hitler.
me. Then address what I'm saying. I don't want to.
But like when you hear, I'm saying when you hear like all the media and everything, they compare him to Hitler.
Me.
He never
address me. Don't address the media. Address me.
So basically, I think the whole my point of the conversation is I think that you're feeding a little into the media and like the divide and
Donald Trump calls me the enemy. He calls all of us communists. He literally every time he opens his mouth.
Are you a socialist?
No, I'm not a socialist. And every time he opens his mouth, he lies about the other side and he calls them the enemy. Please, for the love of I don't understand people who think like feeding into it. Donald Trump is the most divisive politician in my life. In my life,
but why is he divisive? Because the media made it that way.
Oh, it is. So he's not responsible for his own actions. It's because the media picks on him.
No, he should be held for his own actions.
Then hold him accountable.
Sure. I mean, I held him at.
You just blame the media for his actions.
Well, every night, late night show and everything like that, they all say, "Oh, he's Hitler. He loves Russia."
No, they don't. Nobody calls him. Almost nobody calls him Hitler. In fact, JD Vance is one of the few prominent people I know of that have called him Hitler. Yeah.
He did, and that's why I don't trust JD Vance. They want him to be the next president, but guess what? I don't trust JD Vance.
I don't care.
He said that.
This is the thing. Like you are such a simp for Donald Trump. You're like, all these people say mean things.
I'm not a simp, dude. I really think about him way less than you do.
Let me point something out to you. All these people that called Donald Trump Hitler allegedly, they're allowed to say that.
Allegedly,
but then,
videos.
You could look. I know that there's people that have called him that. I understand that. But then his response to that is to use the levers of government to force them to lose their job or to sue them into submission. One of those things is free speech that you're allowed to do. You'll notice that, you see how many people call me names in this chat every day. I don't get rid of people just for calling me names or coming after me. Donald Trump wants to silence all opposition.
And I respect you for actually talking to me, though. I respect you for that.
I appreciate that. But I just don't get this thing. Like you guys it seems like everybody on the right wants to ignore the glaring problem, which is Donald Trump, and blame everybody but Donald Trump. Donald Trump's IQ is 6. He's the dumbest fucking person to occupy that office, and he's vindictive.
You can't say he's dumb, though.
I can't say he's dumb. He is a fucking dipshit.
He's smarter than me, then. So I must
be
a lot dumb.
He's not.
You're talking to me.
He's not that smart. You guys just think he's smart because he has money. He's actually very dumb.
Well, someone could be smart in one thing.
What's he smart at?
And dumb in another.
What's he smart at?
Business, obviously.
No, he's a massive business. He's a terrible businessman. A historically bad businessman. Every business he started before he became president went under.
So you want to talk about how many bankruptcies? Bankruptcy is just a part of business.
Hear me out. That's not what I said. I didn't say bankruptcy.
I
said every business he started before he was president went under. Not bankrupt. It's gone. The business doesn't exist anymore.
Well, how many businesses did he open?
Well, so I'm talking about actual businesses, not he puts each property in an LLC. So people say he has hundreds or thousands of businesses. It's because each business is under an LLC, but it's managed by the Trump org, which he didn't start. So that's why I'm careful with that. But Donald Trump is historically bad at business. Trump Airlines failed. Trump Vodka failed. Trump University failed and sued. Trump Steaks, Trump Magazine. Everything that guy has done has been a colossal failure. He's not good at business.
Okay, you know what? I literally don't care about Trump that much. I voted for him 3 times, but I really don't care about him that much.
Why? What'd you vote for?
This is
what are you getting out of this? What are you getting out of these 3 votes from
he
Trump?
He was the cog. He was like the monkey wrench in the cogs.
I mean, he's like a wrench in the cog. Yeah, but what did
he break? He wasn't a politician or anything like that. Whatever. I don't care. I just want anybody. I just want to break down. He said when he first came in that he was going to drain the swamp and stuff like that, and he didn't.
Which he didn't do.
Yeah, he got a bunch of people in his cabinet that were all, part of the swamp, and he didn't really know anything like that.
Okay, what about now?
Whatever.
Okay, what about now? How's that going? You feel like he's expanding the role of government. He's literally turning this into a dictatorship.
Well, I'm fine with the ICE stuff. I'm fine with kicking people out of here that don't belong
No.
there.
Why are you okay
Because
with
it's a law?
No. Why are you okay with eliminating due process? I'm fine with you saying if ICE wants to detain people who are here illegally.
What do you mean due process? There's no due process for people that aren't citizens of the United States.
There is.
Due process
yes,
is
there is.
leaving.
Yes, there is. According to the Supreme Court,
Okay,
there
look
is.
it up. Yeah, find it for me. Send it to me. I'd like you to send that to me.
Yeah. So if you're here, if you're here in this country and you are accused of a crime, you get due process.
Yeah, the crime is being here illegally.
What's the process that they are due?
Get out.
No.
That there is for illegal aliens.
What is the process that they are due according to our law?
No, you don't get a court date. You don't get a court date. You get left.
You do.
You get kicked out.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay, where does it say? Okay, show me the statute. You can't show me that because it doesn't exist. I already know.
I don't think you do know. I'll gladly pull it up for you.
Okay, send me the statute.
It's from a Supreme Court. It's from
You're not gonna find it.
It's from a Supreme Court ruling. It's not a statute. It's from ruling. It's been interpreted that all persons, which is in the Constitution, doesn't apply to just citizens. So precedent says that people historically who were here illegally were guaranteed due process. That's how our Supreme Court works.
What Supreme Court ruling was that?
No.
I'd like to see that.
Well, there's been a bunch
as far as I know.
There's been a bunch of them, but I think the most recent one was Nome versus Pedro Vasquez. You see it right here. Have you read that? You know, the courts have ruled even with Abrego Garcia. Didn't they rule that Abrego Garcia had due process, that his due process was violated, and that's why they had to bring Abrego Garcia back?
No, he was meant to be.
Why'd he come back? Why'd he come back then?
Deported back to.
Why did he come? Where
did he come from?
Wait, excuse me. Why did he have to come back? They sent him to El Salvador to CCOT.
Well,
why was he? Excuse me. Just answer.
He didn't want to go back. He didn't want to go back to Guatemala or El Salvador or something like that, and then he wanted to delay his.
Listen to the question. Listen to the question. Don't just.
You asked me a question.
I haven't finished the question yet. You started talking before the end of the question. Why were they required to bring back Abrego Garcia if he doesn't have due process?
Because he delayed, he didn't want to go back to where he was originally from because he was part of some gang, and he said that they're going to kill me if I go back there. I want to be deported to this other country.
That was El Salvador. No, excuse me. He was sent to El Salvador without due process. The courts ruled that he did not receive due process and that they had to return him from El Salvador, which was actually his country of origin, but he was in prison there. But he
didn't want to be there, so you could select wherever the fuck you want to go, I guess, if you're illegal. You get free plane flights.
Relax. Why were they forced to bring him back?
Because the Democrats made a whole big fucking deal about it. That's why.
Why did what was the court's justification for forcing him to come back?
Because it was because he didn't want to go back to the country that he originated from because he said that the gangs were going to kill him.
No.
Okay, then you tell me.
His due process rights were violated and he got due process. So he came back to the United States and he went to court.
You don't understand the due process for people that don't belong in this country in the first place is being shipped out. There is no due process for people that are not.
Okay, let's try this again then. Then why did the person who got shipped out, why did the courts require the Trump administration to bring him back?
Because it was like a
due process.
Dog and pony show.
He was due.
It was a dog and pony show.
He was due a process.
The process for people that don't belong here are getting kicked out. That's it.
Well, then,
there's no due process.
How many more times? How many more times do you think we have to? How many more times do you think I have to explain this before you're going to figure it out?
All right, then. Yeah, I mean, did you send me the thing that says illegals actually have a due process in court?
Sorry, I thought you were looking at the screen. I forgot that you weren't seeing the screen. I pulled it up on the screen. Let me go back to it. I forgot that you weren't looking at that. Yeah, but wait, but do you understand that, right?
Anyway, the whole
Hold on.
crux.
No, not. Oh, no.
I understand
Shut
your
up.
point of it.
Hold
I don't
on.
agree with you.
Hold on.
Don't tell me to shut up.
No,
Be respectful, dude.
No, listen, you keep talking. I apologize for saying shut up. You cannot leave this subject. Abrego Garcia was taken in the way that you say is legal. He didn't go to a court date. They took him and they put him in El Salvador. You're saying that that is legal. The courts ruled that it is not.
Well, legally, you don't belong here, so you get kicked out.
Excuse me. But the courts ruled that the Trump administration committed an illegal act by sending him to El Salvador without getting due process. They forced the Trump administration to bring him back, where he then went to court. How does that not prove that if you are here illegally, you still have due process?
Are you asking me a question? I really don't give a fuck about that guy.
No, I'm asking you.
If you don't belong here in the first place, I don't care what happens.
What it seems like right now, and this is why I think you like Trump, is you don't give a fuck about what the law is.
I said I voted for Trump.
Excuse
but
me. Let me finish. Just let me finish. Which is
in similar ways as you.
Would you just let me finish? I appreciate that. You want the law to be what you want the law to be, not what it is. You're wrong. People who are here illegally have due process. You can disagree with it. You're wrong. If you want to change that, we can change it in the law.
Because you don't belong here in the first place.
No, that's just your opinion. But the courts have ruled that you are wrong.
That's not my opinion. That's
it
what
is your opinion because it's the opposite.
You here illegally.
Well, the courts disagree with you.
Okay, then show me. I would love for you to show me that because I don't think you could prove it.
Wait, then please explain why Abrego Garcia was forced to be returned. What was the reason that he was returned?
Because he needed to get the fuck out of the country.
He wasn't in the country. He was in a different country. They already removed him to the country of origin. Why did they require that the United States bring him back if he had already been removed?
I don't know. Why does California love accepting illegal immigrants?
It wasn't California. It wasn't California. Please answer the question.
It was Michigan.
Yeah. And why did the courts rule that he had to come back?
Because it's all a fucking dog and pony show.
Because he was he was not given his due process rights. That's why.
He doesn't have any due process.
Does.
And I'm going to get the fuck out of here because you don't belong here in the first place.
That's what you want it to be, but that's not true.
Okay, then show me the ruling that says that they have a due process a day in court because they don't.
Okay, here it is. Yeah.
Okay, I love the RDMs.
All right, is my time up?
No, I just sent it to you. Can you read that? I'll put it up on the screen, but let's read this together.
Well, I'm not watching the stream because I didn't want to echo.
The Trump administration late Friday urged a federal judge in Maryland to allow immigration officials to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the West African country of Liberia, saying the U.S. government has cleared the final legal hurdle in deportation process. Abrego Garcia's case has been at the center of the national debate over President Trump's immigration crackdown ever since he was deported to El Salvador in March in violation of a federal immigration judge's order that barred his deportation to his native country. After being held in detention facilities in El Salvador for months, including a notorious mega prison known as CCOT, Abrego Garcia was returned to the U.S. in June, only to face federal criminal charges of human smuggling. He's denied those charges.
Sounds like I don't want that person in my country anyway. I mean, wasn't he like part of a gang or something like that too? That's why he didn't want to go back to his home country.
This is why you need due process. Because
we don't need them there.
This is why you need due process, because the federal government has claimed that he was a member of a gang, but we've seen no evidence of that. The reason that you need due process is so the federal government can't just lie about you and then send you off into a different country.
Okay, I could agree with you on that.
Okay, so can we agree then?
This person Trump, specifically this manner,
can we
I
agree?
think he's part of the gang.
Then
can we agree? That he belongs here. We want him here.
Why do you think he's part of a gang? Why do you think he's part of a gang?
Because he didn't want to go back to his home country.
No, why do you think he? Wait, all these. So is everybody that doesn't want to go back to their home
country? Because he said if he went back to his home country, that they were going to kill him.
Because
that's
why?
What he said.
Because why?
Because he was part of a fucking gang.
Because he was accused of being part of a gang, right?
Okay, so
Yeah,
why
and
would he
who?
be
And
scared about going back to his home country?
because the president of El Salvador jails anybody on the accusation of being part of a gang.
Maybe. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, the whole crux of my. By the way, I do respect you a lot for actually having me on and then talking to you and everything like that. I really respect people that are willing to talk things out rather than just like, because I think there's a big divide. Like there's a lot of hate going back and forth, and I think a lot of it is like propaganda wise. And
But mine's not.
like I voted for Trump 3 times, so you have a view of me already. You think that
No.
like I'm a Trump
No.
supporter. I love Trump. I worship
No.
him. I barely think about him.
Listen, brother, the reason that we have a divide is that people don't want to talk about specifics. Everybody like where you're going now is just generics. If you can say people can say whatever they want about like how I feel about Donald Trump, but like my show is filled with research. I don't say things that I don't have facts to back up. And if I do, I correct it. The problem is that I have with most Trump supporters or people who voted with Trump, whether you like him or not, is that you guys have opinions without evidence. And this is one of those instances where Donald Trump is by far.
Well, I think I've had somewhat evidence and stuff like that. We went back and forth.
Listen, brother, just let me get this out. This is a good example where I said that Trump consistently is trampling on people's rights, and you said no. And then you said, I don't think people should have due process if they're here illegally. They do have due process. Trump consistently tramples on people's rights, but I think what happens is that Trump supporters or people who voted for him, whatever you want to call yourself, they don't care when the rights of the people they perceive as Trump's enemies are being trampled on. They only care when it's their rights that are being trampled on. And I think that if you're going to be somebody who stands up for rights, you have to stand for all of that. I hate all religion. I don't like your religion. I don't like Islam. I don't like Mormonism. I think all religion is a net negative on this world. And I would never advocate for you not having the right to practice your religion. And I just want, that's why I'm curious with some Trump people, especially the Christian ones, where they think their Christianity matters and everybody else's rights can just get fucked.
No, I mean, I'm Catholic, and we definitely agree that government is always the problem. Even though we have a Catholic,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that government's always the problem. I think that
government never gets it right, man.
Government gets a lot of things right, man. A lot of things.
No, it doesn't.
Well, see that's the problem. Like that's the thing. Like you take this wholesale approach, and then you don't have to learn anything new. You just start with your opinion, and then you never have to learn anything new. Why don't you just?
I mean, the whole reason why I'm talking to you right now is because I'm trying to get different views, and I'm actually like the whole point of me calling in is that I'm trying to bridge the gap. I think that there's a lot of propaganda in the media, like making us hate each other. Like when it came to like even Charlie Kirk dying, like you can't I'm not saying that you ever did condone it, but like you could obviously say like violence and everything against the other side is wrong, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of violence.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I think it's getting worse.
Okay, but if we want to talk about propaganda, like you watch my show, do you have Twitter?
No, actually I don't.
You don't have Twitter? Okay. Do you have any social media?
Social media for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube pretty much.
I would argue that this administration, all they put out is propaganda. Literally, I'm going to show. I have some clips here later. It's literal propaganda, and it is
divisive.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is the most divisive. So if you have a problem with divisiveness, it doesn't make any sense to me that you would side with Donald Trump. He's the most divisive politician of my lifetime. And he does it on purpose. He lies every day. He calls all of us, and like he literally campaigned on, "We are the enemy to the people."
Option, do you think it would be any better or more divisive?
What's that? Sorry.
What can I call you?
Jay or RTP, either way. It's Jay.
Jay. Okay. Jay, do you think that the other option as president would have made it any less divisive?
Yes, I think it would have been far less divisive.
I don't think so. I think that they.
Well, the thing is she doesn't.
I mean, just look at how many people voted for Trump. It shows you that 60% of the population in America agrees with these values.
60% of America didn't vote for Trump. That's silly.
Okay, not okay. 60% of the vote.
It wasn't 60%. It was like 52, 53, something like that.
Okay, the popular vote, more than half
Yeah.
of the voters.
Yeah, but look, I think
But still, what I'm saying is like whatever. You have to realize that you're living with these people. Like we have to get along. We can't.
Great, I do.
We can't hate each other all the time.
Listen. Do you feel like I'm hateful to you?
No, I think you're. No, I told
Okay.
you you're very respectful.
So
I appreciate you talking to me.
Right, but Donald Trump is hateful. I can't stand Donald Trump, and I think people take it personally that I think Donald Trump is a dumb bitch, and that's fine. But like, fuck that guy.
Okay, fine. I could have. Okay, you could think that. That's fine. Do you think Kamala is any smarter than fucking Trump?
Substantially smarter than Trump. Yeah, I think
Oh,
almost
come on,
I think
dude.
almost
Come
everybody.
on, you're lying to yourself,
I think
bud.
no. I think Donald Trump is probably the dumbest person in Washington. He's historically
All
dumb,
right,
man. If you chose, like, I've done this before, but if you picked a date and I pulled up a transcript of Trump speaking, you wouldn't know what the fuck he was talking about. You wouldn't. He speaks at a 4th grade level. He is incoherent. It's just that he says, like, he kind of like almost gets the gist of things, and he's so generic that everybody likes it. And they're like, oh, I like Donald Trump. He has a lot of confidence, and confidence gets you a long way in this world. There's a lot of really dumb people who've made a lot of money just by being confident, and that's Donald Trump. Donald Trump's president because he's confident.
Do you have an inner hate though? Like, do you actually? Is there anyone in your life that you actually like hate, like actively hate?
No.
You don't like actively hate Trump. Like you don't. I mean, I know your channel is kind of like, because I've come across it like many times on the stream and everything like that. Obviously, it's like mostly Trump stuff because he's the president. Obviously.
Well, it's not even just that he's the president. It's that the party shut down. The whole Republican apparatus is sitting around taking orders from Trump. The check, one of the checks against
That's not my apparatus.
No, their apparatus. They literally aren't
Right.
doing anything. I can't criticize anybody besides Trump because nobody else in your party is doing anything. He's doing everything, and they're just waiting around like cucks to listen to what he has to say. They're not. They literally haven't been. Congress hasn't worked since September. I can only criticize Trump. There's nobody else doing anything.
All right, see, now the way that you said, like, you guys, because I'm Catholic and I'm conservative, right? You assume that I'm always Republican, blah, blah, blah. I consider myself, well, I'm registered as an individual, as a...
Independent?
Independent, yeah.
Or unaffiliated. So listen, that's not that's not what I do. But when we've had this conversation, I really try and talk about like issues. And I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully because this is my job. So it's gonna like most of the time I'm gonna have read more stuff than anybody who comes up here, and that's fine. Like you guys have lives, you have jobs, that's fine. But my problem with people who support Trump generally is that literally everything this guy says is a lie. And I have to spend all day arguing with people who call me an idiot who don't know that everything this dumb motherfucker says is a lie. Cucker, he doesn't know what a tariff is. He doesn't know how it works. And he is running our entire economic agenda through tariffs without knowing how they work. And I can't get Republicans to give a fuck. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that he doesn't know what a tariff is?
I think he knows what a tariff is.
Who pays tariffs?
The country that's importing.
And who does Donald Trump says pays tariffs?
I haven't paid recently attention to.
He says the country that shipped
right
it.
now, right?
He said the country that sends the product pays the tariff.
Yeah, they do.
What?
They want to access our market, so they pay the tariff. Yes.
Okay, so this is another example. See, this is why I get frustrated. Let me help you with this. So a tariff, this is the way the tariff works. Let's say that you put a tariff on Canadian maple syrup. And let's say I own a grocery store and I want to bring in this Canadian maple syrup. When I order my Canadian maple syrup, Canada's price, let's say that it's just $1 per bottle. And let's say that Trump has a 20%, or let's say 10% tariff on that, right? When I purchase it from Canada, I'm going to pay them $1 per bottle. And when those goods enter the United States, I'm going to go down to Customs and Border to pick up my shipment, and I'm going to write a check to the United States Treasury for 10 cents for every single bottle I have. So say I add 100 bottles. I'm going to pay 10 cents to the United States government for every single bottle of syrup. United States citizens and companies pay tariffs. There is no mechanism to charge another country a tariff. You can't do that. It is a tax on the American people. So this tariff revenue that Trump is talking about that other countries paid has actually all been paid by American citizens. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I hate Donald Trump. He makes
saying the American citizens are going to eat the cost.
No. They pay it. And this is why I can't stand Donald Trump, because he makes somebody like you sound like a fucking idiot, because you also now think that tariffs are paid by other countries, not because you're necessarily dumb, but because you believed him. And it's wrong.
Who's eating the cost?
What's that?
Who's eating the cost?
The Americans.
If I'm paying $1 for a bottle of maple syrup, which maple syrup is
American, either the American,
so the person raise the price. Do you think I'm going to keep on paying the higher price, or
so the person who imports it is either going to eat that cost, or they're going to pass that cost along to the consumer. So either the American company is paying it, or the consumer is paying it, or a mixture of both. The only person who's never paying it is the other country. And Donald Trump doesn't seem to know that. And he's the president. And he's the one that, this is his policy. And by the way, it's killing us. We are getting killed on trade.
Why is Canada so up in arms about it?
Because what it does do effectively, like if Trump, let's say that we have maple syrup here from Vermont, and people want the Canadian maple syrup, but now if you buy syrup made in Vermont, it's 10% cheaper, or 20% cheaper, or 30% cheaper, and at a certain point, people are like, I'm going to pay less money for the Vermont maple syrup rather than the Canadian maple syrup, and now those people in Canada, those companies not in Canada, are making less money because they can't sell more stuff. That's how it hurts other countries, but they're not paying it, and Donald Trump doesn't understand that, and you didn't understand that. And that means that there's millions of people in this country just like you who watch this dipshit every day get things wrong and fuck up our economy. Did you know the dollar has lost 13% of its value since he's been in office?
Yeah. Do you know how much money was printed under Biden?
Yeah, but none of that would affect what's happening since Trump is in office.
Half of the money that's circulating right now.
Excuse me. Don't play whataboutism. We're talking just about his policies.
I mean, excuse me, you weren't saying anything. I was saying something.
I know, and you did whataboutism, so I said, excuse me. Let's go back to Donald Trump.
It's not a whataboutism, it's a fact.
You literally said, what about? That's a whataboutisms can also whataboutisms can also be fact. But just so you know, this is another. Hold on. Let me finish.
Left or right. I'm saying the government's fucking us on every corner.
Let me finish. But when that happened under Biden, when we printed money under Biden, we didn't lose this much value in the dollar. Trump's not even printing money, and we're losing 13% on the dollar, and we're doing that, and we're doing, and let me explain, and let me explain why. Because this tax policy of Donald Trump's, there's printing money which circulates, which is inflationary, but there's also what banks are allowed to do, which is they're allowed to lend out like more 20x what they have. And then you have the stock market. So for example, Tesla, Elon Musk's company, is doing poorly under Donald Trump. They're not doing as well as they used to, but their stock price is still going up, which means Elon is worth more, which means he can borrow more money, which deflates our currency. At the same time, American consumers are getting fucked because their prices are going up. American farmers are losing their farms. Like our soybean farmers are absolutely fucked because other countries have slapped
to China and BlackRock.
because other countries are slapping tariffs on us, and we used to export a lot of these things like soybeans. So Donald Trump is doing the only people in this economy that are doing well are Trump's friends in the Middle East who keep giving him billions of dollars and his billionaire friends who helped him win the election. You and I are getting fucked, and we have to sit here and argue whether or not Donald Trump is doing good. Like, I have to convince Republicans that they're actually being fucked.
Yeah, we we're all getting fucked. So that's why I'm anti-government. You want more government? I want less because I think government fucks up everything.
But Donald Trump is more government. Donald Trump is more government, not
Okay,
less.
well, whatever. I would prefer no president, no government, no nothing.
Great, but that's not an option. So you should pick.
Government has a lot of good things. Government's good.
It is.
I want less.
Okay, well, I disagree with you. I think that the government does a lot of things well. So, anyways, I got to get back to my show. I appreciate you coming up. You're welcome anytime.
Hey, I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah, man. We'll see it.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good one, Jay.
You too.
Hey, Jay. We have someone else who's
All right.
been waiting.
Let me read.
Yeah,
let me read through comments real quick. Laura said, thank you, RTP, for being my morning go-to program and providing the reality, logic, and facts that we all need. Burnout Medic said, for the gift goal and your frustration. Pink Alex said, bro thinks Trump is smarter than Kamala. That one's kind of crazy. George Zimmerman, welcome, said, immigration reform has been admitted by both sides as being broken for decades. Facts. That's true. Dragon Wizard said, Pilar versus Doe gives undocumented immigrants due process. U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark defines jurisdiction thereof. Thank you, Dragon Wizard. Brian said, hey, Cucker, do you know who was a socialist? Jesus, that's who. Tanya said, have a good day. FOD said, bro, he just said we got 20 trillion tariffs. Danielle said, Trump, now all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it in on the magnets. That's the end of magnets. I don't know if I missed any. I think I missed one here. Carry me, thank you very much. Welcome new subscribers as well. And I think I got those all. Jen, I need to check anything Jen sent. Casey said, do you think it's possible the right leaks this to make it sound worse than it actually is to soften the blow when the files do come out? Maybe. I don't know if that would soften the blow or not, but it's not way off. It's possible. Jamar said this guy doesn't like Big Gov or Trump, but loves everything they're doing. You're MAGA dog. All right. Are they? Do we have a new person here, Jen?
Yeah, he's coming. I just realized I forgot to give him the right role, so he should be here in a second.
No worries. Check the chat here.
He's here.
Hey, what's I might be your dad. Oh, I don't know my dad. Are you? Gary?
Gary, is your name Gary?
Possibly.
That's sweet. What's up, man?
Sorry if I am, and we didn't figure that out before now.
That's all right. What's up? What's on your mind?
Shoot. Am I on here where people can hear me?
Yeah, everybody can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can I address one thing first that's on mainstream media? There's a problem. They
Sure.
they call everybody is an immigrant. That's the incorrect term. An immigrant means people are basically, a good way to remember is they're immersing themselves in your culture and your customs to become a part of your country.
Where did you get that? An immigrant's just somebody who moves.
That would be a migrant.
No, I'm literally looking it up. A person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country. It's an immigrant.
That's the first I've ever heard that.
Have you looked at the dictionary before?
No, I don't have a use for it. I live in the South.
We don't have those. Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't require assimilation to immigrate.
Oh, okay. But there's a process.
Yeah.
And there's people looking for reform of this process, but to go through that process is a backlog of 10 to 20 years. So I don't think we need to get any stricter on that. But as far as just being swarmed by multitudes of people, we probably do need to do something to reform that process so it's not quite so costly to.
What do you think we should do?
That's a hard question, because the cheapest way would basically look like camps where you just store people, somewhat like what they're doing now, I guess. From what I've gathered from the
seems like the most expensive way. The ICE budget's gone up like 20x. This is way more expensive than anything else we've tried.
What if they're running loose in our country, though? That seems like that could be more costly to the citizens with having all of their wages undercut.
The problem I see is that, I don't doubt that they've gotten some violent criminals off the streets. Certainly they have. But the problem is a lot of these videos I see people going into courthouses and residential neighborhoods and houses, like they're not getting violent offenders. and it's really, really expensive to do it the way that they're doing it. And then if you're putting people in camps, that's really expensive, and we're paying private companies to do that. This is literally the most expensive possible way I could think of to do this. If I had the choice, I would say let ICE focus on violent criminals and people who are here illegally. They should have due process, and we should hire a bunch more judges, and we should get rid of this backlog, which Republicans and Democrats agreed to do. There was a bill that passed the Senate during the Biden administration that was written by a Republican and passed the Senate, and then when it was going to go to the House, Trump told Mike Johnson to put it on the shelf and not vote on it because he wanted to run on immigration. And now that he's in office, the Republicans have decided not to legislate anymore and change the laws, just to let Donald Trump do what he wants.
Oh, I would have a problem just as basically somebody who's heavily on the conservative side of things. As soon as you mention hiring more judges, hiring and expanding any part of the system severely bothers me.
Why?
Additional expenditures. There's going to be a whole.
It'd be a lot cheaper than
line of people.
It'd be a lot cheaper than the amount of money we're spending on ICE. If it's about expenditures, ICE is way more expensive than hiring more judges.
I mean, I would definitely wouldn't want to do away with due process as an American and for what our country is supposed to stand for.
I need to go back and address that, though, because I think this is something that we run into all the time with conservatives. You make an argument that this is about, like, you wouldn't hire judges because it's too expensive, but ICE is way more expensive. So my solution is fiscally more fiscally more responsible. But it seems like I don't believe Republicans when they say this. I was a Republican for a long time. Up until about 2016. I worked for the Republican Party. And I know we always talked about fiscal responsibility, but if you look just statistically, Republicans are far less fiscally responsible than Democrats, far less. They always spend more and they bring in less money. So if this really is about money for you, you would want to hire more judges and spend less on ICE.
I'd want to actually make it harder to become part of this country.
Okay, so that would require a law that you would have to pass through Congress, but Congress has not done anything since September. They won't pass a law because Trump doesn't want them to pass a law. He just wants to use ICE to go after people.
Right. Yeah, so I don't believe he's sincere in any part of any of this.
Democrats are, so why wouldn't you support the Democrats? The Democrats want to change the law. The Democrats agreed to a law that would make it more difficult to come here.
I just see them all as basically guys working for AIPAC. That's all I've seen on both sides. I haven't seen any variation.
What is that? That has nothing to do with what I just said, bud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could
yeah?
Well, I'll try to stick
Democrats
to the point.
Democrats have asked for legislation so that we can actually change the laws on our books that would make it harder to immigrate here. Like if that bill would have passed during the Biden administration, if Trump wouldn't have convinced Mike Johnson to kill that bill, the border would have been shut down for like 120 straight days. We would have had nobody crossing our border. And instead they kept it open while Trump campaigned every day going, look at the border. Look, the border's open. The border's open. And it could have been closed, but he didn't want them to close it because he wanted to campaign on that.
How have Democrat-led states made any example of that being anywhere near their intentions with how they have their just basically open border policies?
Well, first of all, Democrats, there's no Democrat state with an open border policy because the federal government controls the border. The states have no say in
California.
But
California's been fighting tooth and nail against our federal government.
Not the border though. Not the border though. They have no say in the border. The border is controlled by the federal government, and these people that work in the federal government, they don't write the laws in the states. They work for the federal government, and they agreed that there would be caps on how many people could come across the border. And if there's a 7-day rolling average where they're above that average, then the entire border shuts down until they hold on real quick, until they get below the numbers. So if you did the math based on how many people were coming across our border, it would have been like 120 straight days the border would have been shut down. There would be far less people in this country illegally, or far less asylum seekers, if we would have just passed that bill. But again, Donald Trump needed you guys to be scared so that you would vote for him. So he chose to hurt the country so he would win.
Yeah, that's a pretty typical play on everybody's behalf. I can't disagree with him.
How come every time I bring up something that Trump did, MAGA always goes, "Oh, that's what everybody does"? Could you give me another example of a time when a person running for president convinced their party to shut down legislation that hurt the country so that they could run on that hurting the country?
COVID response by Biden.
What?
Under their COVID responses, restricting people's ability to go to work without taking the jabs.
Wait, what legislation did Biden he was campaigning against Trump during COVID? Are you saying Biden told the Democratic Party not to vote on a certain bill that would have helped Americans until he got in office?
I don't think anybody had the ability to vote on anything.
Okay, so then that's not really an example then, right?
Trying to think where they just shut things down.
Most of the shutdowns occurred while Trump was president. I live in Arizona. There weren't any shutdowns after. Most of that happened early on.
I was working the first year of COVID under Trump. That was one of my highest earning years in the last 20 years. I had no restrictions, but I'm also in Florida.
The states were responsible for that. The federal government didn't shut down anything. Every state got to choose their own laws when it came to shutdowns.
And I traveled to California, and it was odd. I went through the airport in San Diego. It was a ghost town. There was nobody functioning at all.
I hear you, but I think that you guys are going to just keep living on COVID forever. It seems like no Republican wants to address the absolute nightmare that Donald Trump has been for this country. You guys want to talk about Joe Biden and COVID, anything but what Donald Trump is doing, which has been a catastrophic failure by virtually any measure. Economically, we're worse off. Politically, we're worse off. Our allies can't stand us. Our enemies are getting more and more aggressive. The world is getting more and more violent. Trump claims that he ended 8 wars. He has ended 0. In fact, the wars are getting more violent. There's new wars. We're losing trade partners right and left. American manufacturing isn't coming back. American farming is dying. Donald Trump is a goddamn nightmare, and it seems like most of this country refuses to acknowledge that. He's been pathetic. And by the way, he's also made about $6 billion for himself by taking bribes from foreign countries. And now he's just openly selling pardons that go right into his pocket. And we can't get any of you guys to care. You guys still just want to talk about Joe Biden.
I would have to absolutely concede everything you just stated.
So what are we doing? 100%. Why are we not removing this guy from office?
He has a cult following of people that don't care to be educated on anything happening around them.
If there was a movement right now to remove him from office, would you join that?
The thing is with that, I don't think that he'd be replaced with anything better.
There's never been a president ever that did this. So do you think JD Vance, I agree that his policies might not be better, but I don't think JD Vance would have been openly taking bribes. Like Donald, if Republicans don't stand up, the new norm in this country is that the president can ascend to the office and make as much money as they want. And that means we're going to have a bunch of politicians who see what Trump did, which is lie your way into office, scare people, divide them among racial grounds, and then get in there and enrich yourself and your friends. If we don't change this, then we are fucked.
I see the same playbook is going to happen from either side, though.
Now.
I mean, do you think with Biden, he was capitulating to lobbyists and promoting EV, green energy, which was a scam that basically Obama pulled as well?
How in the world can you say renewable energy is a scam? How in the world can you say that?
Just business. Just
what do you mean?
Loss of money.
What do you mean?
Even if it was better for the environment.
The most valuable, before NVIDIA, the most valuable company in this country was an electric vehicle manufacturer.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of like the thing with Trump. It's another cult type following.
No, brother. Why do you think every other country in the world is investing heavily in renewable energy? Are they just all stupid?
Yeah. It's how would you call that? It's just kind of a fad. It's the popular thing now.
No, it's because it's cheaper and it's better and it's more efficient. Like I have solar panels on my house. Do you know why I have solar panels on my house? Because I live in Arizona, and if I didn't have solar panels on my house, I would have paid $700 to $800 a month in electricity costs all summer, and instead I paid about $125 because it makes energy less expensive. You know, people are buying electric vehicles because they don't have to pay for gas.
Think about how that came to be, though, with your bills being high enough to pressure you into that becoming a viable solution to save money. If you're in a state that wasn't taxing you and running up your costs in order to make that
I live in Arizona. The energy companies are privately owned. It has nothing to do with the government.
I'm not on solar. I'm spending my bills per month. I'm spending $70 to $80 a month on electric because Florida isn't. We have an electric cooperative, and they're not trying to force those type of things on us here.
Yeah, but you're talking. But mine isn't government run. You're blaming the government for what private business did. SRP and APS, those are privately run. That's capitalism bilking people dry, and because their costs go up because like oil and natural gas and energy production, it costs money. So why would you not want to create energy that costs $0 to reproduce?
If they could figure out how to do that without harming people that don't want to be a part of it, like in California, for example, if you had a great running diesel truck that you use for your business, all of a sudden they mandated, gosh darn, I can't remember what year it was, but anything after
2030, in 2035, I think it starts I think it was 2030, now it's I think 2035, new vehicle purchases have to be, I think, electric. So if you had a great running, so if you had a great running diesel truck that you loved, you wouldn't have to get rid of it. You just wouldn't be able to buy a new diesel truck.
In California, they had to.
No. I'm telling you. Listen. I'm telling you, it is for new vehicle purchases, and we haven't even hit that year yet. It was supposed to be 2030. I think it's pushed back to 2035 now. It's not even in existence yet. I'm just telling, like,
you can't register. You cannot register a diesel engine truck in California that's older than 2010. I ended up with one for free. I was able to pick up my dad's F450 from his business and take it home for free, and he had to go spend $100,000 on another one because
that's not true. I live in California. In fairness, you're incorrect.
I drove the thing across the country, gave it to me free, said they would not let him register it because it was a 2000.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You're actually correct on that. Or you can bring it up to code. You can still have a 2010, but it has to meet emission standards. That's true. And that's fine if you don't. And that's hold on.
Who shouldn't have to take those hits.
And that's fine if you don't want to live there, and that's fine if you have a problem with that. But remember, this conversation started with you calling it a scam, and now it's not fair because I might have to get rid of my truck. That is a fair, that's a fair criticism. If you say I don't like that the government tells me what car I have to drive, that's fair. But let's not pretend that renewable energy is a scam. Every other country's we are fucked with Trump. Like, Trump is setting us back. I don't want to pay. I don't want to go to a gas station. I don't want to fill up my car with gas. I don't want expensive electricity bills. I want to have an affordable way of life. I would love public transportation. I don't like driving. It's not enjoyable. It's not efficient. I want public transportation. But Trump this is all for, like, you want to talk about a fucking rigged game. Trump told all these oil executives, I will give you guys tax breaks and I will get rid of your competition. And that's what he's doing. This is Trump capitulating to lobbyists. That's it. I should have the ability to choose an electric vehicle. I should have the best possible option. It's America. If I want a house that's run entirely on renewable energy, why the fuck can you have it in China but you can't have it here? Why is China 20 years ahead of us when it comes to renewable energy? Because they don't have lobbyists. They don't have oil executive lobbyists. That's why.
Right. I mean, would you consider Elon Musk a pretty powerful lobbyist in this country, though?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of what's going on and the things like that and the state mandates, there's things that are likely being subsidized on a federal level to encourage that type of activity.
Look, I'm a fan of ending Citizens United. I don't know if you know what that is, but basically the Supreme Court ruled that speech. I'm a fan of ending Citizens United. I don't think they should have that ability. But there's no way Trump and but Republicans don't want that. It's basically the progressive left and a handful of Republicans that would vote for that.
That's why it's hard for me to accept either side at this point. I mean, I absolutely would disagree that corporations should be able to function as people. They're not people.
But I bet the people that, like, how do you feel about AOC? See the problem? But AOC agrees with you. Everything that you and I have agreed on are basically AOC policies.
Oh my God.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem. See, you've been conditioned to think. See, like you don't even know. Like, what do you disagree? What do you disagree with AOC? What do you disagree with AOC on?
I've never taken a word she said seriously.
Yeah, what do you disagree with? What do you disagree with?
I've never actually listened to anything she said because
Why not?
I just can't take it seriously when she speaks.
Why?
She's a bartender, for God's sake.
She has an advanced degree. She has an advanced degree. What are you talking about?
I've seen the products of advanced degrees, and
Okay, but
it doesn't make people innately smarter than they were to start.
Well, then
with
why'd you call her a bartender?
Because that's what she's good at.
I think this might be an instance of like some sexism, but
of course, yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that.
Okay. Well, she's brilliant. Well, she's really smart, and she sounds like you. It sounds like you'd agree with all of her policies.
I've seen a lot about her becoming enriched by her position.
Yeah, and a lot of that is, and it's a lie. She's not wealthy. That's just lies that are put out by Republicans.
She made $24 million, I think it was, or something.
That's a lie. We have financial disclosures, man. That you can. This stuff isn't like, it's not a secret. You can just go look it up. She hasn't made $24 million, but Donald Trump has made about $6 billion from the presidency.
I'm disgusted by
and your Senator Rick Scott made hundreds of millions of dollars by scamming the government, by stealing from the government. And your governor has given hundreds of thousands of dollars, funneled it to his wife through a charity by stealing from the government. Your entire state is run by con men, and you'll believe a lie about.
I love DeSantis. I absolutely love
of course
that.
you do. He's a con man. Of course you love him. He's a criminal. Your state is a criminal enterprise.
A wonderful environment. I mean, this state, we've held it together. We've had tourism throughout COVID and all that, and everybody was so happy. You also
have a mass exodus of insurers because it's such a mismanaged state that insurance companies can't trust you guys to have insurance.
Yeah, FEMA's been terribly abused.
Not FEMA. Not FEMA. Private insurance companies who look at how you guys manage your state and go, "We're getting the fuck out."
They've been scamming people the whole time anyways. Here they sell everybody policies, and then if we have a major catastrophic event, they just bankrupt and pull out.
And now who's replacing them?
Then FEMA has to take up
the slack. Not FEMA. Try again. Government run insurance. You guys are doing socialism now. Your capitalism failed so bad there. Your free market capitalism that the capitalists all left, and now you guys are doing socialism.
Half the state is New Yorkers and Californians.
Yeah, but none of them set the policy. The policy set by your guy, Ron Lifted Boots DeSantis. Yeah. See, this is what we say this is what I think about Republicans. You guys are all like, I think Republicans are just vibes. You like people that you think you'd like people that you would get along with, and you will gladly bury your own state and the country in debt and bad policy so long as it's not a Democrat.
Well, we've become set in our ways because it's
don't.
hard not to see the liberals have become. Over the years, liberals have been showing just straight out insanity.
Like what?
For a long.
Like what?
Man, some of that stuff I don't really want to get into.
Yeah, you're going to talk about trans people, which has been you guys. It's you guys just are obsessed with trans people, and you pretend that the left has an obsession with trans people, which we don't. There's no obsession. The only thing we think about trans people is that they should have the same rights as everybody else, and you guys freak the fuck out about that. You guys are obsessed with trans people.
The problem I have is such a mainstream issue. I'm all for
it was not a mainstream issue until you guys started talking about it every fucking minute of every fucking day. Nobody was talking about this. We just trans people don't want to be talked about. They don't want to be bothered. They just want to live their life. And for years, we've just been allowing trans people to live their life. And then Moms for Liberty and the state of Florida and the state of Texas decided they were going to try and do Christian nationalism. And now it's all you guys talk about. It's less than 1% of the population.
who had trans people going in doing story time in the schools?
Nobody.
I mean,
Nobody. You're mixing now.
was,
You're mixing up drag. Now you're mixing up drag queens and trans people, and they weren't going in and doing story hours. There were sometimes story hours hosted at the school, which were voluntary. And again, those are not trans people. Those are people in costumes.
that was frightening to see that.
It's frightening that somebody dressed up in a costume and read a story to kids who chose to be there. That scares you.
To be there in drag, or
What's wrong with drag? Why is that scary? That there's a man in a dress with makeup. Why is that scary to you?
Just Christian conservative values.
What part of the Bible says that a man can't dress up in a dress?
I couldn't quote that for you.
I mean, Ron DeSantis wears makeup. Ron DeSantis wears makeup and heels every single day. What's the difference? He's putting on a costume, putting on heels and makeup every day. Donald Trump puts on a girdle, makeup, comb over, and heels every day. What's the difference?
I mean, just I don't know. My values are the traditional family.
These aren't values, buddy. These are just things that these aren't values. These are just things that you think are weird, right? Like toughen up. I don't know when you conservatives got so fucking thin-skinned and crybaby-ish, but yeah, people are going to exist that are different than you. Deal with it. Stop crying about it. Stop making your entire identity about mocking people who are different than you. Just deal with it. It's fine. Nobody's hurting you. You voted, and this is why your party is completely run by absolute fucking dipshits. Is because all you guys care about is trans people, and you elected the dumbest fucking group of Republicans ever to exist. Every person in your party is an absolute dipshit, and they follow a guy with a 12 IQ who's clearly losing his mind, and they follow him blindly, all because you're afraid of a dude in a dress. Toughen up.
Yeah, it's more of them. Look at the left while they reach in your back pocket and steal
Toughen
your
up.
wallet with
Wait,
the right.
no. Toughen up. I'm tired of you guys like being such cowards. Toughen the fuck up.
We're fine with that being that way in California and New York.
I don't care.
And places
You should
like
be.
that, man.
Yeah, but what kind of bitch shit is that? If you're like, my neighbor's different than me, this bothers me. Toughen the fuck up. What happened to you guys? What happened to men in this country? When did we become so offended by what someone else looked like?
We don't want that kind of society.
I know, and I'm asking you, when men in this country, conservative men, became such like bitches, toughen up.
Well, that is being tough. We're drawing a line in the sand. We aren't willing to accept certain types of behavior.
Yeah, that's some bitch shit. I don't like people who are different than me. I'm gonna make my whole identity about this.
I think that's why people such as Charlie Kirk were targeted, is because if they're following Christian values, they stand for something. They have hard moral values. They're not going to compromise.
There is nothing Christian about saying that somebody who exists differently than you is something that you need to stand up against. In fact, Jesus made it pretty clear when he dealt with the woman who was a sex worker who clearly was going against biblical teachings. And when everybody was around Jesus, what did Jesus do? Did Jesus say, you're gone, you got to get the fuck out of here? No, Jesus turned to all of them, the you people, who were pointing at her and said, hey, are you guys perfect? And they're like, no. And he's like, all right, get the fuck out of here. And then they all left. And then he told her, and then he said to her, he said, go ahead. You can leave.
She needed help. I mean, that's where you need to go.
She needed help from she needed protection from people like you. Jesus was protecting her from you. You're the bad guy in that story. What Bible did you read?
So with that argument, you believe Jesus was condoning the prostitution?
I believe that Jesus would not stand there and cry about trans people. I believe that Jesus would tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Toughen up, deal with your own shit, go about your day, and stop worrying about what other people look like. I don't think Jesus would join you to try and go picket at schools because a trans person exists.
No, I think that's too far. That's too far.
Well, but
I think we should provide mental health counseling first.
I've got more concerns about the mental health of people who see somebody different than them and freak the fuck out. I think your mental health concerns me far more than anybody else's. For some reason, you've developed into a grown-up who sees somebody that's different than you, and you freak out about it.
That's true. I can't. I just it 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 does freak me out.
Why don't you toughen up though? Why not just be tougher?
I've been working on. I have a
All right.
cousin actually who's trans, and she's a he now. I do my best to call him he.
And is
It's
he?
hard every single time I do it for
First of
years.
first of all, I love
It's
that.
still hard to say it.
I
I
just want you
love
to.
my cousin.
That's
I
great.
want to support him, and it's hard every single time I say he. It's difficult.
Every trans person has a you in their life. Somebody that loves them and struggles to figure it out, but does it anyways. Right? That's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to admit that you struggle. And I appreciate, honestly, like, I think a lot of people wouldn't admit that, and I applaud you for that. But like, they're less than 1% of the people. And we ran an election on this, and we're still doing it. And we're ignoring the fact that this president is openly selling us out. He had one of the co-founders of ISIS at the White House the other day. He's working with the people who funded 9/11. He's taking.
I saw that headline. I didn't know anything about it yet.
Taking billions of dollars in bribes from corrupt countries all over the world, and we're getting absolutely nothing for it because Donald Trump has been able to distract us with immigrants and trans people. Two things that, if we're being honest, man, like, it doesn't affect our lives. I understand that millions of people came here seeking asylum. Most of them probably don't have valid asylum claims, and that definitely happened. It started in 2019. It went all the way through like 2023. I understand that happened, but the reality is it didn't actually really hurt us that much. There was no material impact to my life. I live in Arizona. I live in a border state. It probably didn't really actually affect you. But because Donald Trump and Republicans
It massively changed.
How did it
Florida's
affect your life?
changed completely.
How did it affect you?
I've moved 5 times in the last 4 years. I've had a house full of illegals living next door to me. Every
But how does
single
that
place,
affect you?
brand new neighborhoods, high end.
But how does that
low
affect
end,
you?
It doesn't matter where.
But how does it affect you?
Well, the one place I rented was next door to my mother's house that she'd purchased, and the illegals, they really seem to enjoy getting drunk and urinating outside in view of my mother.
Bro, that's every redneck I've ever lived next to. What are you talking about? It sounds like they fit
don't
in
do it in
Florida.
front of women.
That just sounds like Florida to
don't
me.
Well, to some degree, yes.
I mean, last time I was in Florida, I saw a guy with his dick out in a parking lot. Like, swear to God, just a white redneck dude. Everybody was laughing. It was fine.
Florida man is real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these things, if you think about it, like, you recognize that there's people that are there that are different, but it's not hurting you. And we've become so divided about people who aren't hurting us that we're ignoring stuff that actually is hurting us. And Donald Trump is actively hurting our country.
It's hurting my business dramatically too. There's if you look for a
What do you do
job
for
out here,
business?
I build homes.
Okay. Oh, so you can't find workers?
No, I have work, but the thing is,
how's the cost of your materials going? How's that?
Oh my God. The tariffs against lumber on Canada. What are we? We're not going to start producing lumber here.
So why do
We're
we
not
have?
gonna
So
start
why do we have tariffs on lumber?
Absolute, just so damn government can line their pockets.
So far,
there's no other.
So far,
reason for it.
all the things we've talked about, the only thing that's material affecting you is what Trump is doing, and yet you're still with him. And this is why we get so confused. It's like he's actually hurting your life.
Pushing me. I don't know where the hell I belong anymore. He pushed me right out of the conservative side. He's not a conservative. He's more liberal than any liberal I've ever seen.
Let me tell you something. I was a conservative, then I was a libertarian. What I can tell you now is I skipped. I don't blame you for not liking people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats who say one thing and do something else. But I will tell you this, that like I have found not necessarily a home, but I find a lot more agreement with the people on the far left because what they're open, and this is why they just won all these elections, because they're talking about things that actually will help people. And everybody that's against them is just calling them names, calling them communist and socialist and radical leftist, because they don't have a real argument for the fact that like these are the only people talking about making things more affordable for Americans. I skipped that middle section too. If you find yourself without a home, I recommend two things. One, don't find a home. Don't attach yourself to a party. Not Republicans. Don't attach yourself to a candidate because the candidates will let you down. But just listen to all of them and see like, are any of them offering something that would benefit me? Yeah. The far left, the AOC, Bernie Sanders, they're advocating for you, man. The policies they're talking about, that would help you.
I have major problems with them fundamentally, though. They're always
I don't
into
think you do.
growing the government.
I don't think
They wanna hire bigger government all the time,
I
just
don't think you
bigger and more.
I don't think you do have a problem with them. I think you've just been told that. They want to shrink a lot of parts. They want to shrink the size of our military budget. They want to get rid of money out of politics. They want to shrink like the excessive force from police departments. They want to shrink excessive spending. They want to shrink the amount of handouts that were given out to corporations. And yes, they want to help poor people. But
What about Biden hiring 40,000 new IRS agents?
that's let me
Can I just really fast? I just want to remind everybody, we're supposed to have another hour left of the show. We are a ways away from our gift goal. So if you guys could help us out, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats to help. If you're enjoying the show, if you could help us keep going.
That's a good question about the IRS agents. There are two parts of that. Number one, those 40,000, some of them were replacing people who were retired. But the IRS is one of those few places that is a good investment. That we get like $8, I think, for every IRS agent back. So, and these are people who aren't paying their taxes, who aren't paying their fair share, which are largely not going to be people that are on a W-2. It's not like a middle class or poor problem. It's hard to hide taxes when you're a W-2 employee because it gets taken out. So we're talking about business owners, but more specifically like wealthy people. And the IRS is severely understaffed. So if we hire more IRS agents, that's more revenue, which means that's less we have to tax. That's less that we go into debt. The hiring of 40,000 IRS agents was a smart move.
Wouldn't that be terribly inappropriate without lifting the tax brackets to reflect the changes in inflation and the dollar value being cut by probably 60% in the last 5 to 10 years?
I'm not sure I understand that question. Can you ask it again?
With the value of a dollar being like, say making 100,000 or but six-figure incomes nowadays, they don't mean much. If you're in California, for example, that's basically living in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still being subjected to paying taxes as though you're a privileged individual. Say you're making anything up to 150,000, or especially if you get over 150. You're still going to be struggling to be a member of the middle class, but they're taxing you as though you're a privileged individual taking nearly half of your income.
Well, yeah, that's the responsibility of Congress. And to be clear, Bernie Sanders and AOC, they do not advocate for raising taxes on poor people and middle class. They advocate on raising taxes or at least closing loopholes on the rich. I saw a stat the other day. Since 2018 until now, Elon Musk has paid 0.001% income tax. 0.001. Yeah, but that's the point. Like, your only shot of ending lobbyists is to vote for the far left. That's your only shot.
Seeing them capitulating to corporations individually.
They're not. Bernie takes no corporate money. AOC takes no corporate money. I don't believe Elizabeth
Sanders. I could see getting behind some of his policies, but some of them seem just
like what?
Just insane.
Like what?
I can't recall. I remember I was on board with a lot of what he said, and so one day I heard him say something. What is this universal income thing? That's one of his.
Universal basic income.
That sounds ridiculous.
Well, let me ask you a question.
How are we gonna...
Do you think moms deserve to be paid?
I mean, I'm not against funding SNAP for people
No.
don't
Like
have income.
money. Like that's real labor, right? How come we've decided in this country that raising kids is not worth anything?
Well, hopefully they've got some kind of job or a partner or somebody to help them with that before they made the choice to have a kid.
Yeah, I know. Why have we decided that? Why have we decided that being a mom isn't worth any money?
Oh, it's definitely that's pulling their weight in the partnership there. Say the husband's working 2 jobs, whatever he has to do, and the wife is.
I know, but the question is, why have we decided that like a mom has to raise kids and then hope that she can find a partner that pulls their weight, that makes enough money? Why don't we pay moms?
They should figure that out before they have the kid, shouldn't they?
Well, no, I understand that. I'm asking you why we don't pay them. We both agree that we don't pay moms. And so the reality is right now, moms have to make that decision. But I'm wondering, like, when we're talking about universal basic income, why don't we pay mothers? Why don't we value their work?
Why would people that have no children pay for, like, we're already paying for schools for one thing. And Why are people with no children
I feel like
helping to
yeah,
fund schooling
you're
or
answering
anything
with a
else related to children?
Yeah, I'm looking for a real answer. I'm not asking like you're just asking more questions.
I wouldn't want to pay towards that. I'd rather pay for EBT and food stamps for illegals than I would pay for
Why?
people that have children and are sitting at home.
Why?
That's their responsibility. As a conservative, that's the only way I see it. People need to either plan for success or don't and accept failure.
That's
do without.
Okay. Well, I think that if you raise children, I think that's probably the most important job you could have, whether you're a mom or a dad. I don't know why,
They get
other countries value that. Other countries give things like paid maternity leave, universal health care, a stipend for moms. Like for whatever reason, we think that it's super important to pay for a lot of things, but not for children, not to take care of
We all
kids.
we pay enough right now where we're
But
already paying enough to where we could have universal income,
we're
but it's
not.
being shipped
We're
out of the
not
country.
paying. We're not paying enough. The rich in this country are paying almost nothing when it comes to a percentage of their income.
We need to make them pay a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I know how that works too from being in business my whole life. If you play the game the way it's laid out, you don't really have to pay.
All right. So, but that's the thing. You voted for a guy who gives hundreds of billions of dollars in handouts, and you love Ron DeSantis, and he gives billions in handouts to these rich people who already don't pay taxes. That is, you can kind of look the other way. But if we had the audacity to
I
give,
have that.
but hold
I
on.
think I
Just
have
let me finish. Just let me finish. Just let me just let me finish. That you can look the other way for. But if Bernie Sanders or AOC advocated paying mothers, that would be a bridge too far. And I think that that's a cultural problem we have in this country, that we think somebody like Elon Musk deserves handouts, but not a mom.
I mean, I'm not happy with Elon.
I know, but your governor gives it. But your governor gives him handouts, and will continue to give him handouts. And your politicians that you voted for all do this.
I think you identified something important here, though. I think that the way that I'm so supportive for Ron DeSantis and always have been, it's like he could do no wrong in my eyes. Basically, he's done so much good for so long. I think that
he hasn't done so much good. He's fucked up your state, man. You guys are in a lot of trouble.
I haven't personally had anything bad in this state or anything other than love where I'm living up until about 5 years ago, when everybody showed up from everywhere else. Everything
Why did they
expensive.
show up from everywhere else?
There were failed policies in California and New York.
Because he gives tax credits to businesses, and he tells people, come here where you don't have to pay taxes. Do you know why California? Do you know why California went from the wild west to like hundreds of millions, or I guess millions of people moving there? You know why it got so expensive? Because people like Ronald Reagan said, "Come west, we won't charge you taxes. Look at all this opportunity out here on the west." And then what happened is it got really inexpensive, but they weren't raising enough taxes, and that's when Democrats took over California, because Ronald Reagan and Republicans begged people to come out there, and they bribed them with low taxes. And then eventually California was on the verge of bankruptcy, so they had to bring in Democrats who would tax more. And you're headed there in Florida. Ron DeSantis is written a check that you guys can't cash. You guys are in a lot of trouble. You will be California in not that long. It'll be a blue state because Republicans don't vote for taxes, and then you'll see all these people in Mississippi like, I used to love Florida till they got all those taxes, and then eventually you'll have this governor that you'll all love in Mississippi, and he'll be like, we're going to bring business to Mississippi. How are we going to do it? We're going to tell them they don't pay taxes, and then they're all going to show up, and they're going to raise the cost of living, and they're going to raise the cost of everything, and all the school teachers and the police officers and the people that run like tire centers that used to be able to live on their salary, suddenly they won't be able to live there anymore. It'll get too expensive, and then they'll blame liberals too. Because all republicanism is just blaming liberals for everything that Republicans fuck up.
With DeSantis' track record, though, of looking out for his citizens, with everything that is going wrong here now, I would think, just sight unseen, he's likely going to do things to try to mitigate some of this damage here.
He's not looking out for he's looking out for Republicans. If you're not a Republican, if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, if you're an immigrant, if you're a liberal in Florida, he's not looking out for you. You just feel like he's looking out for the people because he says stuff that you like. But he directly attacks people all the time. He goes after children. Ron DeSantis spends like a good portion of his time directly attacking trans people. A big tough guy going after kids.
Yeah, haven't seen anything about that yet.
You haven't
But
seen
he
Ron
is
DeSantis?
definitely-
You haven't seen Ron DeSantis?
He's definitely trying to keep a Christian conservative type of environment here.
And I think that you guys are being.
I like what that produces.
I think that you guys are being lied to about both Christian and conservative. It's just.
I mean, it is hurtful and going to make things tougher for those groups you just mentioned for sure.
Which Jesus certainly wouldn't approve of that, right? Jesus certainly wouldn't approve of taking care of the Christians first and then saying
Probably
fuck
not.
everybody. Yeah, so it's not really Christian.
Probably not.
So it's not really Christian,
But
is it?
but we love the environment we have that produces, so we're willing to sacrifice whoever we need to.
Yeah, it's like the antithesis of Christianity.
Honest, that's the truth, though. That's how we roll.
Florida would be the bad
we're
guys
happy-
in the Bible,
we're
wouldn't
happy-
they? Wouldn't DeSantis be a bad character in the Bible? Wouldn't Donald Trump be a bad character in the Bible?
But but the Bible's against the LGBTQ community.
No, it's
It's
not.
from what I've seen, men are not supposed to lay with men, and that's an issue. I pay no attention to it. It's like I have gay friends. They're gay. You get used to it. I
It
don't
also
even think
says
about them being
it's also against rich people. It's actually, in fact, it's more against rich people because the rich people stuff is in the New Testament. Most of the stuff about gay people's in the Old Testament. If you've read the Bible, the New Testament is like the new law that Jesus brought, right, replacing the old law. And the New Testament doesn't really talk about that at all, but it does talk about the dangers of worshiping money and not taking care of the poor. And that's what conservatism is. It's fuck the poor, fuck the immigrants, fuck everybody. It's not Christian at all.
We have no homeless people in the county I'm at. If you get picked up by police here, they actually take you to the county line and drop you off.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very Christian to me. I think Jesus
not at all.
Jesus would probably feed
It's
them.
that we value the community being clean, safe,
Yeah.
family oriented,
White.
Christian conservative values.
White Christian.
Yes, mainly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point in me trying to lie and bullshit. I just got to be honest with you about it. But yes, that's how it ends up going.
I think you guys need to toughen the fuck up.
We have a self-segregated city. I mean,
It's not
my wife
se-
is half black, and I went, and that has been a challenge. That, years ago, it used to be a challenge. Where we go, we went out to eat one night, and we had a bunch of eyes on us, and I was kind of feeling a little something and catching people looking over, and then I found out, we went the wrong day. There's days the whites go, and there's days the blacks go.
You know where that doesn't
If we
happen?
want-
You know where that doesn't happen?
This
In
is
those-
5 years ago. That
Yeah, the places it doesn't have those liberal hellholes like New York and Chicago and San Francisco and Los Angeles. The places that act, the people that act far more Christian. Ironically, perhaps the best example of a good Christian elected recently is Mamdani, who's not even a Christian, but he espouses your values far more than you guys do.
But you see, though, we're going to one place to the other, and we're making trade-offs. We're making sacrifices for the other benefits. So here our sacrifice is anybody who's not white, working, conservative Christian, so we can maintain that environment here. If the sacrifice
Lost you. I can't hear you. I think we lost you. It's like it's very faint. I do need to get going anyways. But I appreciate. I will say this. I don't agree with a lot of what you said, but I do think you're one of the most uniquely honest people I've spoken to, and I appreciate you engaging in good faith. You're welcome to come back anytime. I want to get to the rest of the show, but I enjoyed it. If you can hear me, I'm not sure if you can. Come back another time. Okay, but I do need to run. I appreciate your honesty. I'll give you the last word though, if you want to go ahead.
It's a pleasure to talk with you and open my eyes to a couple of new perspectives.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, good talking to you. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, there we go. Marianne, thanks for the super chat. John Dime said, keep speaking the truth. Rock on. I go back and forth with my wife every day about stuff like this. That's weird. It's on there twice. Michelle said, great show. Thanks. Appreciate that. And John again. Hey, howdy. Thank you for the super chat. Rob said, this guest is the epitome of a highly opinionated, uneducated. Kudos to you for handling him. Oh, that was the last guy, I think. Check here. That's Twitter. Got that. Jen, did I miss any from you? Here. Ashley said, for the last guest with his mouth full of marbles and comments on AOC, men like him don't listen to women enough to be able to judge them on their character. Sexism and misogyny at its finest. Get fucked. Yeah, it was weird. It's weird to hear somebody just admit it, though. Tracy said to keep Jen happy and listen to Jay teach the unintelligent. Thank you for that. I'll update that. How much time do we have? 12:20. We're going to go a little long today anyways. We went on the wrong day. It's wild. Yeah, that is wild. I don't know what part of Florida that is. I know that historically there's been some issues like up north. Hey.
Hey, are you updating the total on your end?
I am, yeah. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, well, so we had some conversations today. I know how much you love those. We're always thinking gift gold total. How long do you think we're going to go today extra? Typically, we wrap up at 12 noon Pacific time. So today, we're stay a little longer.
Yeah, they have to come finish up the flooring. I told them he couldn't come before 1:30 my time, so I probably have like another hour.
So you're making the maintenance guy edge?
I always do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So glad that you're like stepping out of your comfort zone. We used to get really uncomfortable with dirty jokes.
I was forced out. This is all you guys is doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's fair enough. So anyways, however long we've got left, I'm guessing, what, an hour?
Yeah, about an hour.
Okay. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats all go towards knocking down that remaining gift balance when he updates that total. So
I updated it.
If you haven't, you did?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I have to refresh one of my screens. Anyway, like I said, if you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so. We've only got the 2 platforms, so we've got a members only event coming up tomorrow. So if you're a paid member on any of the platforms, you can join us for we're going to be streaming Newsies in the Discord. So if you're a paid subscriber and you want to join the event, you need to get into the Discord. Any mod, I can send you a link for that. If you guys actually no more ops today, so scratch that part of my reminder. If you check out the link tree in the bio, we're on most social media platforms. We've got merch, Jay's on Cameo, and we upload all these episodes to Spotify. So there's all that. What do you call a fake penis?
A phenus.
A fallacy.
Oh, I wasn't way off. Like, thank you. Amy said, until 1946, the Bible said, man shall not lay with boy. And then now that's kind of a Republican thing, so they've changed it. Amy said, Latin Americans are way more family oriented than typical Americans. I agree with that. I do think that there's something to like the collective, not even necessarily struggle, but like the skin in the game thing. I think America has abandoned that. After the Great Depression, after the 2 world wars, I do think that Americans felt like they were in things together and they had to rebuild together and everybody was in it. And we've lost that. And the Republican Party, everything since 1982 from the Republicans has just been like pure selfishness. Like we need to be more selfish, guys. We're not being selfish enough. We need to keep more money. The billionaires need more. And this is exactly like how the robber barons came into power. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow in that members only event. We're going to watch Newsies. But those are the conditions that created children having to work, their parents getting hurt from jobs, but the government offered no protection. which is what our government's doing. Like, they battle unions. They don't want to provide health care. They don't want to deal with poor people at all. They just want to take them and move them, and they view them as numbers. And that's where we're at now with this country. We view the working class as numbers, not as human. We're not working together. We're not trying to make things better. And somehow the Republican Party, which is full of like some of the poorest areas in this country, and some of the most impoverished areas in this country, somehow they're out there like, don't take that money from our friend Elon. Don't you dare give it to our community. We didn't earn it. We deserve to be here. Our entire community has been decimated by capitalism and the offshoring of jobs all around the world, but keep giving that money to Elon. Don't take any of his. I don't know how honestly, like, we are so easily distracted by immigrants and people who use their genitals differently than we, that we've allowed ourselves to get to this point where we have like modern day robber barons. It blows my fucking mind that we're there. And I do think that we're at the stage with Republicans where they don't even really have arguments against it anymore. They're just like, yeah, that's what that last guest was. Like, yeah, that's just who we are. That's what we're doing now. We're Republicans, and we are racist. We don't want to say it, but it's true. We're just pretty racist. Let's get back to this Trump interview, and then we'll move on. I wanted to show Trump lying about the economy here. Cut this real quick. Ingram has asked him about an obviously the economy is struggling, and also obviously they have to cater to Trump. So you'll notice that everybody interviewing Trump or everybody on Fox News, they keep bringing up that the Walmart Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper, which we all know Walmart's just offering less stuff. It's half the size and 25% less expensive. Do the math. That's actually more expensive. But they keep saying that because they know they have to cater to Trump's fragile little ego.
But even with interest rates up, the economy is the strongest it's ever been. You know, you asked me, just to go back to the beginning of your question, you talked about prices. We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. You know, interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed, would have really low interest rates, and we will soon have that. We'll have somebody that's.
And why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think
every poll says it, but none of that's true. First of all. And Laura Ingraham, because like this is Donald Trump, we're not allowed to push back on him. So she just has to then like go to the people. Well, why don't people think that? And Trump, no, people don't think that. Trump probably thinks that people don't think that because nobody around Trump is allowed to give him bad news. And he only watches news organizations that fluff him. And if he turns on CNN and they talk about the economy, he's like, well, all of my people are telling me the economy's fine. And so is Laura Ingraham. So they must be fake. Like they gentle parent the fuck out of this guy. They just tell him what he wants to hear because he can't handle bad news.
Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because
we won't.
My election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
That's just made up. That's just a made up thing. He's talking about liberal queef is a new one. Thank you for that one. I liked that one. Obviously not true. Here's Trump on affordability. Guys, everything's affordable. You're just being lied to. It might seem like you have less money, but you actually have more money. You're just being lied to.
The economy was listed as a top concern. I know you know this for voters in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. And I've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, a dinner cost for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee, auto repairs. Is this a voter perception issue of the economy, or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. They're saying, they just have to say, you know, they put out something, say today, costs are up. What
does that even mean? Bro, this guy is such a child. All of that is reality. What is it? It's just fake. It's just a con job.
Read it to the anchors of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and a lot of other, and CNN, and etc. And it's like a standard. I'll never forget they had used a word like manufactured. Do you remember the word manufactured?
Yeah, we all know that word, dude. It's not a new. It's just the first time you heard it. We've all heard that word. We use that word every day.
It's a manufactured economy. Nobody uses that word.
Everybody uses that word all the fucking time. What a weird thing to say. This is what I say. Like when I say he's dumb, that's not a thing that a normal human being would say. Nobody says that. No person ever has ever said that.
Every Anchor broke the manufactured. They do exactly what they say. It's such a rigged system. So are you ready? Costs are way down.
They're not.
Gasoline is going to be hitting $2 pretty soon, or around.
What's the average gas price right now? By the way, we just saw a bunch of oil facilities bombed in Russia. So national average is 307. Jesus Christ, not even close. Where is it? Let's see where it's closest to $2. National average in, I don't know. I think the lowest I'm seeing is Texas or Oklahoma. Let's see. We got like 260 in Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi. Yeah, we're not even close. But the national average is 307. I don't know where he's coming up with that number.
Around $2. Gasoline is at $2.70 now, and it was at $4.50.
It's not at 270. Why don't you care that he gets every number wrong and he always lies in his favor?
Under Biden, under Sleepy Joe. When gasoline comes down, when energy comes down, and everybody agrees energy's down, we're drill baby drill. We're going like wild. We produce more gasoline, oil and gas in the last month than we ever have before by far. And we're going to also end up filling up the national strategic reserves, which were taken out by Biden in order to try and win an election. Didn't work out too well. They tapped in. That's supposed to be for war, for national emergency, not to get.
So are you saying that voters are misperceiving how they feel? Or?
So when Trump took office, gas was at 307, which of course, like in the winter, prices are down. It peaked at like 320, and now it's at 3067. So it's basically where it was when he started. And he's sitting here saying, like, all this work, and we've basically kept things the same. By the way, I think it peaked at the national average peaked in June of 2022 at 492, which was not, it wasn't up there for very long. By August, it was down to 370. And then by the time, of course, Joe Biden left office, it's back where it is right now. So this guy will celebrate just anything.
So when I took over, you remember?
Because you said Biden did that too, because he was saying things were great, but
let's
things
say
weren't great.
it's synonymous, Biden and Kamala, because you didn't know who the hell was campaigning. I mean, it got to a point.
You didn't know. We knew who was campaigning. It was Biden, then he dropped out, and then it was Kamala. We all knew. You're just a old dumb fuck, so you probably didn't know.
So I was up by 20 points on Biden or some crazy number. And they said, all right, let's get him out. We'll put a new one. This never happened to anybody. All of a sudden, I have somebody new. And they had the 6-week honeymoon, which was...
The fuck is he talking about? This is what I was saying. I don't know if that last guest is here. Like, this guy doesn't speak like a human. He's asked about gas prices. What in the world is he talking about now?
Standard in the world of politics. You get a little honeymoon. And she had her little honeymoon, but then eventually people got to know her, too. And then they had the 60 Minutes catastrophe where they, changed her answer.
Housing costs are...
All right, somebody said look up diesel prices. Where is diesel? Diesel's 3... We're in October. I have it through October, 369. It's basically done the same thing. It's basically following the same chart from what I see. Yeah, but just more expensive. Why don't any of these people go, sir, that was crazy. That was crazyville what you just said there. You didn't answer any of my questions. You just rambled incoherently. Here is Senator Mullen now just arguing the same thing. Because when we were talking about last guest, and I say, like, the Republicans don't have a strategy. They just repeat what Trump says. Here's an example. And Mullen is their guy now. I don't know why. I don't think he's very eloquent. But he's just going to say the same thing. They're just going to go out and lie to Republicans all day long, and Republicans are going to go, yeah, but Joe Biden.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she's great, but I don't know what she's talking about. Walmart just came out and said that grocery prices are down over 20% this time last year.
No, that's not what they said. They said their Thanksgiving dinner is down 25%. They didn't say grocery prices are down over 20%. Why do they lie about everything? They can't say one thing that's true.
Year. They said Thanksgiving, and that was the CEO of Walmart. Amazon said that the trinkets, the things you were buying last year for Christmas, are down.
First of all, trinkets are Amazon. I haven't heard this. Has anybody heard this? Amazon trinket pricing or trinklets? Amazon says prices are down. Does anybody know what he's talking about? I'm looking at Christmas presents. I don't know what he's talking. Did he just talk to somebody from Amazon? Is that what? Does anybody know what he's talking about here? I have no fuck. I'm looking it up. I'm looking at news. If anybody has a story on that, I don't know what he's talking about.
We have inflation that was at a high of 9.1%, average of 5% underneath Biden. Today, it's hovering around 2.5%.
It's 3%. It's 3%. What did you just say it was?
Underneath Biden. Today, it's hovering. Christmas are down. We have inflation that was at a high of 9.1%, average of 5% underneath Biden. Today, it's hovering around 2.5%.
It was 3% when you took over, and it's 3% now.
Energy prices are down, the lowest they've been since President Trump was last in office. And we know energy is the backbone.
They're the same as when Trump entered office, so that's not down either. How many swings and misses are we going to take here, Mark Wayne?
Of inflation. And you can't make a product, you can't deliver a product without factoring the energy costs into it. So prices are down. What is up is protein. But if you look at milk, you look at bread, you look at eggs, which a lot of people use as kind of a measuring point. All those prices are down, and energy costs, like I said.
Let's look at that. I haven't looked at bread prices. Bread prices year over year. September, so we got to go to January. It was $1.92 per pound. This has it at $1.90 in October, so I don't know what it is now. Looks like it might be down slightly. I'm not sure. I don't see an updated price for October. Let's see if they have a different one here. When does this end? Fed only has through September. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, let me get to January. This is price of bread whole wheat pan. And this is saying 276 in June and now 277. So it is whole wheat. You can look at this here. See the chart for the year. January 276, 277 by September. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about there either. Maybe he was talking about this dip. Doesn't look like it's down though. All right.
It's down too. We can tell at the pump.
Well, his example with Walmart generated some discussion because there was a community note on X that pointed to, yes, the price is lower this year than last year, but there were different items in that basket, fewer items in that basket.
Sorry, Chris said, if USA is so great, then why did they make USBs? The good question. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, RC said, keep it up, Jay and Jen. And thanks, Cam said, check your DMs. Fuck, I don't want to see my DMs from you. I'm not looking at that, Cam. I'll look at it later. Bully.
More, the store brand products rather than the name brand products.
The president of Walmart told me, or not the president, the CEO of Walmart told me personally that the prices across the board are down.
Okay. All right. Well, if we don't look at the charts, guys. Mark Wayne, Lee Harvey, McMullins, Osmond, Donnie, and Marie said that the CEO told him personally. All right. Well, sorry. We were looking at data. I guess I should have taken his word for it.
He was actually interviewed, I believe, on MSNBC and said the exact same thing. So we are moving. President Trump's economy is working. He had a lot to clean up when he came into office. It's remarkable to see what President Trump and those that he's surrounded himself with has been able to do with this economy in a very short period of time. I mean, he hasn't even been...
V and his kid would be amazing. You just tie your shoe and you're 17. He's like, my kid is remarkable. The low bar for something to be remarkable from these folks. Tessa said, I married a veteran who was also a victim of childhood SA. He was a great man and a magical father. The compilation of severe trauma throughout his life was too much for him to work through. He is now an unhoused veteran living with schizoaffective disorder. Our daughters haven't seen him since 2018, and I've never gotten a dime of any type of support. Our girls know that they came from two very good people and how much their dad loved them and fought to keep his sanity. UBI isn't for moms who refuse to work. That's tough. Thanks for sharing that, Tessa. Thank you. That's a lot.
In office a full 12 months, and the economy and the market is responding to his leadership.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's his leadership. It's failing. And then this was the big story. Now, instead of addressing affordability in any sensible way, what the Republicans are floating now is, hey, you know those 30-year mortgages? What if we just made it a 50-year mortgage? Because then the banks still get their money and your monthly payment is lower, and we don't have to address any of this. We still keep our bankers happy, and actually they'll make more in the long run because they'll collect more in interest. So let's just make 50-year mortgages. The dumb idea. This is desperation mode. If your government's talking about just extending out debt as a way to make things more affordable, they've run out of ideas.
Housing costs are still out of reach, and another thing that your administration is trying to tackle. Many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country.
You have to understand.
Right, but let me get to the question though, because your house.
But I wanted to blame Biden, guys. I don't have solutions. I'm just a whiny bitch. I just want to tell you that all of this stuff isn't my fault. Right, but you were supposed to solve it. You got elected to solve it. So sitting around for 4 years complaining about how it's not your fault isn't really what you were supposed to do. That's true, Corvette Girl Robin. This Donald Trump guy is just straight up lying. I agree with you.
The housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from...
It's not a big deal, guys. 86% more interest. It's fine. It's just not a big deal. Just shut up. Just shut up and do what I say. Just shut up and tell me it's great.
From 40 to 50 years. And what it means is you pay.
Also, it doesn't seem to know that mortgage rates are 30 years, not 40. What a fucking genius this guy is.
I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that Biden did this. He increased the interest rates, and I have a lousy Fed.
Biden didn't increase the interest rates. If Biden could increase the interest rates, then why can't you lower the interest rates? See how he does this? He'll blame Biden for stuff, but he's like, I can't do it. I don't have the power to adjust interest rates. But Biden did. Biden had power that I didn't have.
Person who's going to be gone in a few months.
Pay loan off early. Larry, I hear what you're saying. I'm not even opposed to, like, if somebody wants to take out a 50-year mortgage. I'm saying that this is their solution. They have no solutions to make things affordable. So their solution is extend debt out further so it feels more affordable in the moment. That's it. They're not actually going to help make housing more affordable. They're just going to charge you more interest. And this allows the banks to get out of some debt too. This allows them to sit on some houses that they're sitting on. This is going to allow all these people with private equity to get out of some bad loans or refinance some bad loans. That's all they're doing here. They're just helping people extend their debt out a little bit further. If you see here, this story came along too. Like this is how bad things have gotten. Nobody can afford houses. So the Trump administration says, here's what we'll do. We'll make it more affordable by extending out your time to pay it back. And then Fannie Mae is like, oh, but we still can't have people still won't qualify. So now Fannie Mae is lowering its 620 middle credit score requirement for purchases and refinance loans, a move that could broaden access to home ownership for borrowers with thinner credit files or lower scores. This is 2008. This is ninja loans. This is, just so we're clear, that like we watched The Big Short as a group. And if you remember, in The Big Short, those loan officers were bragging about these loans, and the banks were taking all these loans and they were putting them in an investment portfolio, and the banks right now are shorting. So they're going to try and get as many of these houses into these loans as possible, into these CDOs, and then they're going to short it so that they have an exit here. That's all this is. This is Trump. They all know the housing market's going to crash. Even Scott Bessent is at this point admitting that the housing market's on its way to crash, and they need to help all of their donor friends have an exit strategy. And then they're going to bail them out anyways. This is for you though, right? Where did Corvette Girl go? This is for you. Ty said 50-year home loan. Yeah. Yay. That's what we need more of. I got that one. What do you want, Cam? You always say it's probably something about the Niners, so I sent that figuring you'd say it this time. Oh, I don't even see what it is. And I'm afraid to click on it. I'll watch it after, Cam. I love you anyways. And then no Laura Ingraham interview with Donald Trump would be complete without some xenophobia. So here we go. Now she's going to criticize him
A lot of MAGA
for letting in foreigners.
Mess around with us, I can tell you that.
A lot of MAGA folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back. You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school? And there are places. He's
going to tell the truth here in a second. And MAGA, make sure that you listen, because this is the truth, and you're all going to agree with this. But he's about to expose that every one of you guys just follows orders. You don't have any thoughts of your own.
This is not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money.
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fans?
You would have the.
I thought you guys didn't like colleges. Now we're protecting them. By the way, I'm with him on this. Like, I have no problem with Chinese students coming here, but he's got a problem with his base because they're xenophobic.
In the United States.
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically, black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system.
Hold on, wait. What percentage of the enrollees of HBCUs are Chinese? Let's see what the percentage is. I don't even know if we're going to get a percentage. 1.2%. I don't think that'll collapse HBCUs.
Of colleges and universities would
so
go
we're
down the
dependent
tubes.
on China to keep our university system going?
But I think it's good to have. I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah.
He fucking hates everybody. He is so defensive of Russians and Chinese. He's so jealous of Vladimir Putin and Xi that, like, when people say, of course. Yeah, of course. They're not perfect. We got some problems with the French, but yeah, like, of course. He's like, oh, yeah? Let me tell you about what did the French do?
Really? I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure. We've had a lot of problems with the French where we get taxed very unfairly on our technology, where, they put 25% taxes on American products. Look, assuming everyone treats us badly, because that's the way I am, but we take in trillions of dollars from.
That's the way that's called a victim mentality. From the pull yourself up by your bootstraps party, we got a guy who's just admitting, like, I just always assume everybody is picking on me.
Badly, because that's the way I am. But we take in trillions of dollars from students. The students pay more than double when they come in from most foreign countries. I want to see our school system thrive, but at the same time, I know you and I disagree. We're never going to agree on it, but that's okay. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business. We have millions and millions of people. Also, I want to get along with countries if possible. You know, people are shocked.
Not the French, though. Fuck the French.
Remember Hillary Clinton said, we'll be in a war. I stopped 8 wars in the last 9 months. I don't want to be in wars.
We covered this earlier. He has stopped 0 wars. 0. Remember on True Social, his own AI says 0.
If I am in a war, we're going to win the thing fast, and it'll be violent. But you know what? I don't want to be in wars. But one thing, you don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country, destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose anything.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA was.
Well, it was kind of Ronald Reagan's idea, if I remember right. You kind of stole it.
It's better than anybody else. And MAGA.
No, Gary, it's 0. The answer is 0, Gary. You say 8 because you believe Trump, but Trump is a fucking liar. 0. The answer is 0. We just had car bombs going off in Pakistan today. There's still a lot of violence there, but even India, they're like, yeah, he didn't do that. He just lies to you, and you believe it.
Wants to see our country thrive.
So great interview there by Trump, full of lies. Good try, Laura Ingraham. I thought she did a really, really good try. Let me jump down here because I want to get to some of like the xenophobia stuff. We talked about Syria. There's a new push. Stephen Miller's doing it, and I don't know who this guy. This guy's name is Nayland Haley. This is Nikki Haley's son, and he's going to talk about, of course, of all things, assimilation. I believe he's born here, but they're bringing him up now to protect their xenophobia. Look, this is a non-white being xenophobic, so it's okay for us to do it.
A lot of people are surprised at your position on H-1B visas because you're Indian American, and H-1B visas a lot of them go to Indian Americans.
Eric, we're not taking any more calls today. We'll take some tomorrow. You can come back tomorrow. It's just on Discord, but we already had 2 guests today, so I got to finish out the show.
Right. Well, I mean, they shouldn't be because I've seen how it's affected my friends and those around me. At the end of the day, my loyalty is to America. I don't have any, and that's part of assimilation. What we saw with Obama is that we had a lot of immigrants coming here, and the thought was, oh, you don't need to change. You don't need to have your loyalty to America. You could be who you are. No, you need to assimilate.
Why? Somebody explain to me why assimilation is important. I think it's because you guys are bitches. I think it's because you're thin-skinned. And you have a hard time being open-minded for other people. I think that's why. I think it's a control thing. I think that things that are different scare you. That's what being a conservative is, just waking up scared every day.
You need to act like an American and support American values and support American workers and American people. So yeah.
No, you don't. First of all, I don't know what American values are, but I can say whatever the fuck I want here. That's the beauty. The American values are you can believe whatever you want. You can worship whoever you want. You can say whatever you want. You just have to follow the law. This idea now it's a scary push by conservatives. We don't like change, so you have to act like we want you to act. What? That's freedom? Assimilation is freedom? What the fuck happened to you people? What happened to free speech? Free speech is only for the whites.
We should absolutely ban it.
It's a literal quote. What's a literal quote? Yeah, I heard him. I'm quoting him. It's stupid. Why are you guys so fucking afraid of people all the time? Here's even Trump here, like talking about people from Somalia. Like, there's nothing that you guys are more afraid of than somebody that looks a little differently than you, and I don't understand it. Y'all have the same one story that didn't happen to you about an immigrant here. Why you're afraid of immigrants? Doesn't bother you. Like, you still go to church. Doesn't bother you that those are the people that are like abusing and grooming your children. That doesn't stop you from going to church. Well, one Christian doesn't make us all bad Christians, but one Muslim makes you all bad Muslims.
He
going too far. How?
Well, he just went too far. He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. but he did
He
think
didn't actually break. If we're going to be fair to Schumer, Schumer didn't actually break. It was some other people on his side that broke.
that we have, look, we have.
Patty Sipes, guess what? There is free speech for me. There is. Watch this. You're a bitch. See? That was free. Nobody stopped me. There's free speech for us too. You're just a bitch. You're just thin-skinned little bitches. I don't like words that are different than what I like. No free speech for people who think differently than us.
Good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or they're just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics. But, you know, we have just great policy.
Yeah, that's
Good
what it is.
people.
We're tired of his policies too good. It's making the country too great, and we just can't handle that as Dems. You know how fucking stupid you have to believe or be to believe that the reason Democrats are upset with Donald Trump is things are going too well? You think we don't care? You think that we care about Democrats before we care about our own personal finances? No. This is America. We're selfish. We care far more about our own personal finances than most things. We're not going to bury ourselves for Trump. Like, we're looking at reality. It's not going well. Weirdly, you guys are starting to choose Trump over your own personal finances. That last guest was like, yeah, things have gotten worse. My business kind of sucks. I can't find workers. All the lumber's too expensive. But, you know, at least there's not any Mexicans around me.
They have some good people, too. I know a lot of Democrats. They're not all crazy. They're not all. But you have some that are absolutely terrible. I look at this Crockett. This is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime.
I think he thought of Crockett, and then he was like black people, and then he was like Somalia. I think that's what just happened there. I think that was the weave. Or he might think that Crockett is from Somalia. I'm not sure.
And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says...
Gary, you've been crying like a bitch in the chat for like an hour now. You're literally the only person here crying. You got your way. Celebrate, bud. Why are you crying in the chat? We just want things to get better. If Trump turns some things around, great. I would really like it if the economy got better. That'd be fine. But until he does, we're going to talk about it. So toughen up.
The Constitution, the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah. So Trump, now what they do, this is the messaging going out now. Any country that has black people is just a third world country. Here's Stephen Miller on with Jesse Waters.
At the end of the day, what this really comes down to is this, Jesse. Who lives in your country determines what your country is, right? Haiti doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. What the people do who live in your country determines what it is, not who the people are. That's why we call you racist, you anal polyp. See how they just let it slip sometimes? Now, of course that's not the case. Of course it's not like what you look like. It's what you do. Unless you're Gary. Yeah, we need more whites.
As a country. Like, it just doesn't. People have tried forever. People have spent billions of dollars trying to make Haiti work as a project. Haiti doesn't work. If you take Haiti and you move it...
We spent billions of dollars destabilizing Haiti. And we'll get to that in a minute.
...to America, it's not going to work here. Somalia doesn't work as a country, has never worked as a country. You take Somalia out of Somalia, you put it here, it's not going to work any better.
We're not taking their government. We're not taking their laws. We're not taking their policies. Those are people. And those people, when they come to America, follow American laws and American policy. This is a dumb thing that dumb racists say. If you find yourself nodding in agreement to this, congratulations. You're just a dumb racist.
It's not about how you feel about an individual immigrant.
Yes, it is.
It's about the policy at a systemic scale. If you move the third world to the first world, eventually we become the third world. And that's not good.
We're so weak that we can't overcome Somalia and Haiti. If we bring people like, is that the Republican argument? That we're such weak little bitches that if we bring people from other countries, they're like, that's why Somalia is that's why we're so afraid, because Somalia has been taking over the world forever, right? Like, that's the real problem. We're too weak as a country to overcome a couple hundred immigrants from Somalia. We can't overcome that. We just immediately will become Somalia.
for us, and it's not good for anybody who wants to live here in the future. All right.
There was a time not that long ago when our good friend, the racist Matt Walsh, made a really big mistake. And his big mistake was going on Counterpoints and talking to Ryan Grimm. And he tried this same bullshit. And the reason I stopped earlier talking about Somalia is because Ryan Grimm's way better at this. And watch how quickly this racist little bitch backpedals and gets absolutely destroyed by Ryan Grimm.
Look at Haiti. What part of Haiti are you saying to yourself, we need more of that?
Beaches.
Well, we have more beaches than them too, right? Don't we?
Right.
We're a much bigger country.
We don't want a marine invasion and occupation of the United States that constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country and saddles us with
we don't want the Clintons
debt
either.
from a revolution. Yeah.
Right. Although I don't. So you're saying that
we wouldn't want to be like basically a colony that the entire West spends 200 years punishing after the Haitian Revolution.
I get that. I understand that, but also at a certain
we
point,
wouldn't want that. No, yes.
We wouldn't want that, but I would also say that that's not entirely why Haiti's in the position that it's in. I mean, at a certain point, as a country, you have to stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, yeah. This tiny country that we've been decapitating their leaders, that we've been interfering, that the entire West has interfered with. And Matt's like, well, yeah, but like eventually you just got to fight off the West. Oh, okay. Yeah. How? Yeah. We're the problem.
Have yourself.
And but at what point is that? They elect Aristide and we overthrow Aristide. Then they elect Jovenel Moïse. Jovenel Moïse is assassinated a bunch of people with American connections, and then we install in 2021, like the United States installed the prime minister that we just ousted. Like, so we could say, okay, yeah, you got to get over the 200 years ago, but like we're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not in favor of. I'm very non-interventionist.
You're very non-thinking. He's learning this all for the first time. Because this is the small-mindedness, and this is why people like Matt Walsh get popular, is because they just tie skin color and outcomes to skin color, and dumbasses believe it. He's a nobody. He's one of your biggest content creators. This is what being Republican is. Just like never really understanding a single issue, always blaming it on race, and then bringing it back to like Christian whites are the goods. We're the good ones.
In my policies, so I'm not in favor of most of the things that we're doing in other countries.
We just made the new government in Haiti in a hotel room in Jamaica. And then we insisted that whatever government we made in Jamaica had to allow Kenyan troops to come in under the flag of the UN in order to go to war with the gangs.
Yeah, I'm not interested in, if it were up to me, I'm not interested in doing anything in Haiti. Like let Haiti be Haiti and take care of that. That's sort of my whole point here.
That was his whole point. What he said is like, why would we want to be like Haiti? And then we found out that Haiti is the way they are because of us. And now he's like, maybe I'm changing my point now to we should stop fucking with Haiti.
Let them take care of themselves and their own problems. I'm also not saying that there's like never a scenario where we would let someone from Haiti into the country.
Have you ever seen such a calm beating in a debate ever in your whole life? Just even like the posture. He goes from this confident.
Are you saying to yourself, we need more of that?
Beaches.
All right. We're still forward.
Well, we have more beaches than them too.
Ha! Got you on the beaches. Forward.
Right, don't we?
Right.
We're a much bigger country.
Right. We don't want a marine invasion and occupation of the United States.
Oh, no.
That constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country and saddles us with
we don't want the Clintons
debt
either.
from a revolution. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right. Although I don't. So you're saying that
we wouldn't want to be like basically a colony that the entire West spends 200 years punishing.
This is my favorite clip of all time. It's my favorite. I don't know if I've ever seen it, like ever loved a debate clip more. Yeah, counterpoints. What did I say? I might have said, did I say counterpoints? Yeah. They don't have answers. That's the most important thing to remember about all these people. Every time Charlie Kirk debated somebody that wasn't on a college campus, he got absolutely destroyed. That's why Ben Shapiro doesn't do it anymore. That's why Charlie Kirk kind of stopped doing it. That's why Matt Walsh doesn't do it. That's why none of them will talk to Sam Cedar. Because with just like a small bit of knowledge, the entire thing unravels. I think the important thing to remember is like, we are the bad guys. And if you celebrate the bad guys, and if you think America is great because like we're just better, these good what Christian Americans are just better. No, it's because we use our military. It's because we murder people. It's because we install dictators, because we do regime change wars. It's because of the same shit that we're doing right now in Venezuela. That's why. We're evil. Our military does evil, horrific things all the fucking time. And we destabilize other countries, and it's better for us to destabilize them. But conservatives also don't believe that that actions by good Christian whites should have consequences. So when we take action in all of these other countries and we destabilize them, like we did in Venezuela, to the point where, like, when Donald Trump left office, he literally wrote an executive order, like, I fucked up so bad in Venezuela that there's all these people at our border from Venezuela, and we can't just turn them around because I'm the one that fucked this up, so we're going to give them protected status. And so they had protected status. And then he started campaigning against the protected status that he gave them on his way out the fucking door. Because why? Because now Joe Biden was in charge. And so now it wasn't his fault anymore. So he could campaign against those things. Like, you break it all the time. Republicans break shit all the fucking time. And as bad as Democrats are, Democrats always come into office to clean up messes that were left by dumbass Republicans who don't have answers to anything. Because, of course, the answer to all of our problems is not lower taxes and build up the military. Because that's fucking stupid. Because that doesn't solve anything. Lowering taxes accelerates our debt. Building up our military accelerates debt. We're too racist and xenophobic to just like do good things. You know what we could have done? You know what a good president would have done with President Xi? Negotiated from the very beginning. We wouldn't have had an 11-month trade war where American citizens paid billions and billions and billions of dollars in additional taxes just so Donald Trump could cave in November and get a deal that's almost as good as the deal he had when we had when he walked into office. Not quite as good. It's still a little fucked. We still got some work to do, but it's almost as good as the deal he inherited after 11 months of him fighting the dumbest fight possible. This guy just sucks at this. And if you're somebody here still like defending this, I just think that you don't understand it. I'm going to skip that. Let's do it. We got about 20 more minutes. I want to play this. Who sent this to me? Let me give somebody credit here. Actually, it was Everyone 1980 sent this to me. And I want to watch a portion of this from the I Had It podcast. And I think that's a little bit like how the theme of the show went. I didn't plan on this being the theme of the show, but the theme of the show, because we had guests, has basically been MAGA admitting that we don't really have policies that help us. They are xenophobic. All we focus on is people that are different than us. And none of this is getting anything for us. And we're going to end with the I've Had It podcast. We'll watch about 5 or 6 minutes of this, and then we'll get out of here. Let me read comments before we start this. Make sure we're caught up. And then I'll update the gift goal. And if you guys could help us knock out that gift goal by the end, that would be greatly appreciated. Robin, thank you for the blue heart. Check Jen's real quick. Make sure I got all these. Mary said, thank you for your hard work. Thank you, Mary. Let's get this started.
And the minute it was time for appointments and special privileges, he put Vivek under Elon Musk, and Elon Musk didn't even make it to the inauguration on the Doge committee.
You mean Vivek didn't make it?
I'm sorry, Vivek didn't make it because he had used him up. That's what he used him for. He didn't need him anymore. He was disposable. And MAGA is never going to accept Usha Vance because they're racist. They are fucking racist to the core.
Okay. And
it's hard to argue after today, isn't it? 2 for 2 guests just admitted it. 2 guests who voted for Trump 3 times after just a conversation. People watch this and they go, that's incendiary. This isn't fair. They're painting with a broad brush. And that part's fair, but everybody we've talked to said this today. So it might not be everybody, but goddamn, it's a lot of you.
And then here's another tweet with retweet of Vivek Ramaswamy. And so he tweeted a picture of himself with his kids and said, "Happy Halloween." And then Dinesh
You piece of shit.
D'Souza, this guy is this conspiracy theorist that makes the documentaries, is a total MAGA nut. He retweets this and he's trying to defend his fellow MAGA politician of Indian descent.
I cherry pick. What do you mean we cherry pick? We took 2 guests. It was 2 for 2. I didn't pick the guests. Both guests came up. Both of them admitted it. Whatever. If you guys can come back tomorrow. If you want to prove that you guys aren't racist, let's talk about it. Maybe I'm open to this idea that we just misunderstand and that you're not racist. But 2 for 2 today said it. I was on a live all last night, and the Republicans that were there were a little bit racist. Most of the time, 70% of the time we bring up a guest, they crash out here and drop a racial slur. It's just, you're not getting away from the accusations very well.
To the rabid racist base that they've all fed for years and years. He said, look at the abuse Vivek is getting for posting an innocuous photo with his boys. This is the shit show that Heritage and Tucker have brought upon us. If this continues, I would not be surprised to see mass deportations of Blacks, Latinos, other minorities from the GOP unreal. Leave this up here for a second. Ron Filipkowski responds to that and says, a shocking report that pervasive racism has been discovered in the Republican
Who could have seen it coming? Who possibly could have seen it coming?
Party. But what's important here is Dinesh D'Souza is a full-blown big liar of the election of 2020. These people, both of these people, are knee-deep into MAGA. And what they're finding out right now is that when you join a racist regime and you are marginalized or you are a minority.
I like this. They're reading a tweet from a Republican who's complaining about racism. And the chat, because like they can't follow any of this, is like, all liberals do is cry. Dinesh D'Souza is not a liberal. He's the one that lied to you guys about the election being stolen and had to retract it. He's on your side. He got a pardon from Donald Trump. That's your side complaining about racism. Take it up with them.
The knives that you enjoy being put at gay people, being put at Black people, being put at women, you're not safe from those same knives. At some point, they turn to you. And you might have noticed Dinesh D'Souza in that tweet is blaming Tucker.
Oh, interesting. Natalie said, I think the 8 Democrats in the Senate, the folder was all orchestrated by Chuck Schumer. I could see that. Natalie, I want to hear your theory on Friday, Friendly Friday. I want to hear about that. And thanks, Jocelyn.
Nick Fuentes and the Heritage Foundation. And that's what is at the epicenter of this civil war.
Thanks, Burned Out Medic.
And I want to remind you that Tucker and the Heritage Foundation were all chips in on MAGA. Mm-hmm. These are Trump supporters. Okay. And so Ben Shapiro, and I want to remind you that Candace Owens used to work for him, had a fundraiser for,
and left because she was too anti-Semitic, right? Like, you guys are sometimes too racist even for your own side. Even like you got some of these people on your side that aren't the good whites. They're recognizing that you're too racist.
Donald Trump. Ben Shapiro is a big Zionist. Ben Shapiro is big MAGA. He's a big conservative. Well, all of a sudden, the Zionist movement that when all chips in on Donald Trump is now meeting what is welcome in this tent, which are the true, real anti-Semites, not the people who speak out against the Israeli government, but I'm talking about anti-Semitism, pure, unadulterated Jew haters. And they're starting to realize, oh shit, we're doing this, but at a cost. Ben Shapiro put up this tweet. Ben Shapiro does a 41-minute video where he said,
it's so good. It's so good watching Ben Shapiro just like, this is the bed we made and it's uncomfortable for me. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys overlooked it for so long. You overlooked it because you're like, I'm not offended by anti-Semitism. I'm not offended by racism. If it's a choice to be offended. And then it became your whole fucking party. And then you got ratioed in every video that you ever put up by a bunch of anti-Semites. And now it's too much. And now you're shocked. Somebody said the leopard ate my face. Yeah. I don't know why you guys are shocked. Like, you got into bed with these people. What you thought it was a joke? You thought they were just being funny?
Oh, they only say anti-Semitic things just to get at my goose. But they're just teasing.
We're actually all friends. No, when push came to shove, you got shoved.
No to the Groypers. And the Groypers are the supporters of Nick Fuentes, who is a neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
Says it with his own words. I'm a neo-Nazi. I'm an anti-Semite. Fuck women. Fuck black people. Total white supremacist, right?
Gen Star says MAGAs do better because now you're realizing you punked yourselves.
So Ben Shapiro says no to the Groypers, no to the cowards like Tucker Carlson who normalize their trash, no to those who champion them, no to demoralization, no to bigotry and anti-meritocratic horseshit. Okay, leave this up, Kylie.
What happened to you? What happened to this meritocracy? It's all about identity politics now. What happened to that? What happened to you guys complaining about identity politics? Now it's just who you are? You were always that way.
Where he says no to cowards like Tucker who normalize their trash. Ben, you did a 41-minute video and didn't bring up Trump not one time. That is normalizing this trash. He is the leader who...
They're all so afraid of him. They're all so afraid. Like, did this happen before Trump in your party? No, it didn't. You guys used to run out the white nationalists. You guys got rid of Nick Fuentes. How did Nick Fuentes get back in the fold? How's he taking over your party? Oh, I remember he went to dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Remember that? And then you all took up his fight. You're like, cancel culture is wrong. Nobody should be deplatformed. And Nick Fuentes came back in. And the reality is, like, the deplatforming of Nick Fuentes, it didn't benefit the left. It benefited the right. He was hurting the right. He was tearing you guys apart. We knew who he was. Nobody on the left is being convinced by fucking Nick Fuentes. It's your people. He picks off your people. It's your kids now. Now you got all these little Groyper kids running around. You don't know what to do with it. How'd my kid get anti-Semitic? Nick Fuentes, that's how. That's how he got anti-Semitic. Why is my kid a little fucking racist? Yeah, Nick Fuentes, that's how. Well, why is he watching Nick Fuentes? Because you guys said everybody should have a voice. Everybody except liberals. And now you're laying in this. Like I said, I don't cover Nick Fuentes. I don't have to cover Nick Fuentes. And frankly, I'm rooting for him. I hope he destroys your party. I hope he absolutely obliterates your party and you guys start to recognize who is problematic. And it's way more people than you thought. Ben Shapiro used to be your dude. Remember, Charlie Kirk banned Nick Fuentes. Free speech Charlie Kirk banned Nick Fuentes. They wouldn't let him around Turning Point USA. He said it. He said specifically, like, I don't platform that guy. I don't talk about that guy. I don't talk to that guy. Now he's eating your whole party. I don't know how many more times, Gary, you're going to say cry. I don't give a fuck. It's your party. I love it, dude. Eat shit. Your whole fucking party can eat shit because you got in bed with the racists. We're not taking heat for this. This doesn't hurt us at all. Nick Fuentes will rise up, he will take over your party, and then he will fade into obscurity again because, like, that's what bigots do. Bigots lose, and Nick's gonna lose, but not before he destroys your whole fucking party and probably turns your kids against you too.
Unleashed these people and Elon Musk with all this free speech and pro coup attempts and pro-insurrection attempts. And remember when Kanks talked about they're good people on both sides? Right. Well, he was talking about anti-Semites that said Jews cannot replace us. But you saw that he could be manipulated so that Israel could get all the bombs it wanted. And so you have played with the wrong people. Wajahat Ali responds to that.
I understand that is what I said about Trump, and maybe I'll be wrong. But if Nick Fuentes wins this civil war inside the GOP, that means that all of you guys were racist. Trump exposed that a lot more of you are racist than we thought. A lot more, including my own dad, who before Trump would have fought against racism and now is just like, nah, I'm racist. He did expose that. And maybe I'm wrong about Fuentes. Maybe he's going to take your party over and expand it. Maybe there's way more racist than I thought. But I've seen Nick Fuentes when he's pressured. He's really, really protected by the Groypers. Really protected. But put him on a stage with somebody else. Doesn't go well for him.
And says, this is your party and movement, Ben.
We got him
You created it.
We got him a little worked up, didn't we?
You made millions off of hate. You unleashed these freaks on all of us, and now they've turned on you. Own it.
What a great response. And if you...
All right, that's the end of that. Do what you want. Like, Groypers, I know that you're here, and I know that you worship Nick Fuentes, which is a crazy thing to worship, right? Like, it's a guy who has been single his whole life, and has made a living by convincing all of you that it's not you, it's everybody else. Like, I've never seen a bigger group of whiny little bitches, ever. No, I talk to my family because of politics. My dad has chosen not to talk to me because of politics. Dude, I talk to only Republicans. You guys are all allowed to come up here and talk to me every single day. I'll talk to any one of you. But yeah, no, there are members of my family who don't talk to me because I'm not racist. So... Thanks, Gary. I wasn't answering your question. All right. I am out of time. I don't have another video to show. Let me get comments real quick, and then we'll get out of here. I'll update the total. Math is hard at the end of a show. Whoops. That's not it. All right. Just a reminder that tomorrow we have our members only event. We're going to be watching Newsies. We'll watch that in the Discord. So make sure, if you're a paid member, make sure you also have Discord access, because that's where we'll watch it. If you want to join us and you're not already a paid member, it's best if you join today rather than tomorrow, because the integration tools we use to drag your membership into Discord, sometimes those are slow to work. And sometimes the servers aren't updated quickly. So make sure you have that done today. We'll start that. It's Jen, we decided 5 Pacific. Is that what we decided?
That's what you said, 5 Pacific.
Okay, 5 Pacific tomorrow. And then our regular show, 9:30 a.m. Or I guess 8:30 Pacific to noon Pacific every single day. To our angry Groyper friends and our MAGA friends, I hope you guys come back tomorrow. You might accidentally learn something, but if you want to come up and talk to me, you're welcome to do so. You can find the replays on YouTube and on Spotify. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and TikTok. The TikTok ban's over. Or we appealed and won that, right, Jen?
Yeah, it went through.
Okay.
Instantly, so.
All right, so we'll be back on TikTok tomorrow morning and every weekday morning, 8:30 a.m. to noon Pacific Standard Time, right here, wherever the fuck you're watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, take care of your mental health, stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.